Now it's time to wake up. Kincade and Salciunas is on the air. Broadcasting live on the Fanatic app and YouTube channel. Here are your hosts, John Kincade and Andrew Salciunas. 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
And a good Thursday morning, Philadelphia. I'm Andrew Salciunas alongside my man John Kincade as the Combine workouts officially begin today. The Underwear Olympics, Johnny. They officially start today, even though the week leading up has been a lot of just sort of illegal tampering, I imagine, that's going on behind closed doors about player interest, and that's why A.J. Brown is a topic every single day. I know there is a collective groan right out the gate from people, but it's the number one topic, not just here in Philadelphia. It's quite frankly the number one topic in the National Football League that's not draft, right? That's not will Mendoza go number one, which we all expect that to happen, and the rest of the draft. The number one topic, non-Underwear Olympics related, is A.J. Brown.
First block, A block, Sports Center. A block of NFL Network's coverage. So, yes, meaning first segment of the show, A.J. Brown's managing to make headlines.
It's the lead, John.
Because they're talking all about it.
Yes.
Are they talking about other guys under contract with multiple years left from other cities? No.
No, they're talking about A.J. Brown.
Which is just what A.J. loves. Just what he wants.
So,
what he desires, what he loves.
I want to spin the question a different way today because, look, Connor and I did post-show headlines. You were a little...
I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. All good. You're feeling a little...
Yeah, it was weird. I was feeling a little queasy in the stomach yesterday, so of course I go to the doctor because I travel this weekend. So I go to the doctor's yesterday, and now, of course...
Now you're fine. And that's a good thing. Hey, sun came up.
But I didn't even get they gave me a little prescription saying because I'm traveling, in case you need some medicine for your stomach. And, of course, I wake up this morning, I'm like, everything's fine.
It's a beautiful thing. You just wanted to get out of post-show headlines. I get it. So I had a little message for the people that watch post-show headlines. Like, look, I get it. There are some of you out there that are probably tired of the A.J. Brown discussion. And Connor and I literally did one of our topics on post-show headlines is, what are you done with right now? Like, and the A.J. Brown thing is one of them. But because the Eagles will do their due diligence and try to get the best package possible, and I would imagine if they do get a trade done, I think it would happen before the draft. Ray was telling us that somebody said to them, it was one of the guests that they've had, that they wouldn't be surprised that it carried into the summer.
Well, if it carries to June 1st, then you take the dead cap money and you spread it out over the remaining years of the contract.
Right.
That's the only difference.
But then you miss out on
this
draft,
year,
which is a bummer.
Which, by the way, I don't believe, and we'll talk about it later, I don't believe they want to miss out on.
Sure.
If you're getting rid of A.J. Brown, you don't want to miss out on this year's draft because this year's draft is better than next year's draft if you're looking to restock at wide receiver.
And also offensive tackle.
No questions
Jeff
asked.
McClain, we'll play some audio in a little bit, but Jeff McClain had an interesting nugget in his podcast, Uncovering the Birds, that
really good episode. Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe the Eagles would use whatever pick they get from A.J. Brown, package that pick with their first-round pick they currently have to try to climb up to the top 10 to acquire an offensive tackle, because let's face it, if we're talking about replacing Lane Johnson, right, we're talking about replacing a Hall of Fame
foundational
player.
Piece
Yes.
For a generation here in Philadelphia.
You don't want to just try to get another rugby player in the 7th round, right? You want to try to get a guy that people would consider can't miss.
And I had a gentleman who's a football coach here in town try to talking to me yesterday, and he was making some good cases on email about he was disagreeing with me on, don't worry about them drafting a left tackle, and converting him to right. I would rather have them get a right tackle and leave him at right tackle. And so when they go and get somebody, get a right tackle. And make him and get somebody who is comfortable there, someone who's made a name for themselves there. If they're a top 15 pick in the draft, something like that, all the better.
All right,
all the better.
So here's what we're going to do to just kind of change it up a little bit, because yesterday when we were talking about the Eagles, we were talking about your expectations for the 2026 season on February 25th, which meant Dallas Goedert is still technically not an Eagle because he's a free agent. But if you want him back, you can put that in your evaluation. A.J. Brown is still a Philadelphia Eagle. He's not been traded yet. He may not be traded yet. So your evaluation is based on what you believe the Eagles would do, which would then change your opinion about where you think the Eagles would be in the NFC. Today, I have a question for a lot of people, John, that I've had on social media for like 2 or 3 months now. And every time I ask this question, nobody responds.
So nobody gives you any kind of... They just ghost you.
Ends.
They ghost you.
Conversation ends.
All right.
So... My question to start with A.J. Brown at 610-632-0975 is what your reaction would be if it did happen. I have asked that question in response to the numerous Instagram videos that have been posted by the Fanatic, Twitter videos posted by the Fanatic, about our talking points. And, of course, there is always the complaint of, they're not trading him. Why are you even talking about it?
Why are you people making this up? AJ wants to be here.
Now, look. It may not happen. It may not. I hope it doesn't. I want him back. But if it does, how would you react? Now, I know how it's going to go, John. A lot of people will say that it was the media's fault and the media drove A.J. Brown out of town. I believe that is a coping mechanism for a lot of fans. So you laugh at it, sure.
It's a joke.
I think it's a coping mechanism for a lot of people.
It's a complete joke.
So what I want to try to do is put that one to the side.
Right.
Because I know that that's what a lot of low-hanging fruit responses will be. How would you react if A.J. Brown did get traded? We had a talking point just last week where a lot of people didn't care at this point. They didn't care if he was still here. They didn't care if he got traded. But would you look at the Eagles a certain way? Because there is so much fighting about what the media is saying about A.J. Brown. Well, what if the Eagles actually do it? Are you going to be mad at the Eagles because you want A.J. Brown back? Because I want A.J. Brown back.
I know you do.
Are you going to be somebody, because let's face it, whatever the Eagles do, there is a group of fans in this city that whatever the Eagles do, the Eagles made the right choice, right? They believe that the Eagles are always on top of things, and for good reason.
I'm one of those ones who tends to...
For good reason.
I'm one of those people who tends to give the Eagles the benefit of the doubt.
They've been so successful that
they do.
It's kind of hard to push back on that notion. So how would you react? So, John, I'll ask you.
You already know where I'm at, right?
If the news breaks during the show today, or if you're on your island retreat,
you're going to have to text
just like
me.
you got Saquon Barkley news while you were on an island retreat.
Well, thankfully, it'll probably come after the league year begins.
Yeah.
But look, Connor, rule, unlimited texting, even though my phone will be in the room, unlimited texting, no calls. I'm so ready for this to happen. And by the way, I'm completely prepared for it to happen because I've been the one saying it all along. It's happening. It's happening. I never doubted that it was going to happen. Even when a lot of the Eagles beat writers were telling you it was not going to happen, I was telling you it was going to happen. I believe it's happening. It's just a matter of time. It's going to happen. And I believe the Eagles want it to happen. I think they want it to happen.
You think the Eagles want to trade him?
I think not because they want to lose his talent, but I think they're freaking exhausted. I think they're exhausted. And for good reason. They're exhausted. They're exhausted by the fact that we have 32 franchises in the NFL. And we're talking about one player on one team in the entire NFL that's doing this with multiple years left in his contract. That's the center of attention like this. It's one. It's
Some
exhausting.
May say they like that, too.
Oh no, he likes it. No, but he likes it.
I also know
more
the Eagles
than anything.
like being on the forefront.
No, Andrew, I'm going to tell you for a fact. They do not like this story. I can tell you right now, they do not like this story. They are not enjoying this.
Okay.
This has not been an enjoyable thing for them. They love A.J. Brown.
Yes.
They love the guy. But it's exhausting. It's exhausting to have there's a book called Energy Vampires. He's an energy vampire. And he is a great...
I missed that one in English class.
He's a great person. He is a great person.
Yes.
People love him. They can... but he is an energy vampire. And right now, it is a team, and the team is being consumed by just the whims and the actions and the whispers and the Instagram posts of one man and the whisper down the lane crap of let me play footsie with my old coach and
the old coach played footsie right back.
And by the way, you don't believe that's with his approval? You do not believe when we hear that. You don't believe?
You think A.J. Brown texted Mike Vrabel?
Yes, we know. No. We know they do.
Yeah, but
we know for a fact.
He said, "Yeah, talk about me."
You don't believe that that's part of it. Come on.
Sometimes I don't think it's that deep.
Come on. There's at some point, Andrew. At some point, I think
they have a great relationship.
At some point, I'm going to ask you to stop being manipulated. I'm going to ask you to just wise up on this and stop being manipulated because manipulators manipulate. And he has manipulated this situation since the Eagles were 4-0. Since he was unhappy when the team, by the way, and I know it for a fact, the team went into that locker room in Tampa.
Okay.
And it was even though they won in Tampa, the Eagles went into that locker room, and the voices in that locker room, the veterans of that locker room were like, look, we had the struggles again today. We had the struggles in that second half. We almost let it slip away. But there was music, and there was joy, and they were 4-0.
There's a million
and they
degrees
got
that
out of
day.
Tampa,
Yeah.
and they survived, and there was happiness, and there was one man who was unhappy. There's one guy who was unhappy, and it's exhausting.
I don't see how Mike Vrabel.
No, what I'm saying is you don't believe. You think that's not. You don't think anything's. You don't think anything is. You don't think that's coincident at all. You think it's just?
I'm sure it's a number one story in football, and the Patriots are attached to it because
but you
the
don't
Patriots
think there's
need a wide
anything
receiver
between,
and it's his old coach.
You don't think there's anything between Vrabel trying to grease the skids and A.J. Brown maybe wanting to end up there?
I don't think A.J. Brown texted Mike Vrabel and said, "Hey, talk
no. Now
about
you're
me."
adding to the story. I didn't say he texted. First of all, he's not going to do that because if the league investigates it,
It's
then there's
tampering, baby.
now they can talk on the phone.
Sure.
Because they're friends. Hey, anything you can do. Come on.
We'll get to the Vrabel stuff when we hear the audio.
I can't wait to hear it because it's like this wonderful love note. I'm so tired of it. So what I will feel relief.
Okay.
Because I want a team. And the Eagles have always been great at being a team. I want a team with team goals, team objectives, not individual objectives. And I'm damn well tired of it.
So MBD on our YouTube chat, he's either going to get traded or he won't. Next. That's where a lot of people are at, but it's not
he's a smart man.
Not that simple because this is a talented player. We're not talking about a backup tight end or a backup lineman. We're talking about A.J. Brown, and this has been a storyline that has been going on since, to your point, the Instagram post after the Eagles won the Super Bowl. This has sort of been going on. It wasn't as big, but that's how it kind of started.
And I called it then, before the parade, that this was a red flag.
So this is a long, ongoing story, over a year now, right?
Yes.
It's been over a year now since that post came out where this all got started. So how would you react if the news comes out that A.J. Brown gets traded? 610-632-0975. Now I have another one. And this is going to make people, I think, uncomfortable.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Give it to me.
Let's do the exact same topic.
Give it to me.
How would you react if the Eagles drafted a quarterback in the second day of the NFL draft?
So second or third round?
Yes. So last week, a little over a week ago, 9 days ago, Jeremy Fowler was on with Middays with Marks. And they initially had him on to talk about the update on the A.J. Brown saga because every single day there's something new.
Yes,
right?
there is.
The winds are swaying back and forth. The tide is going back and forth.
Again, exactly.
It seems to change.
Exactly.
Adam Schefter's degrees of will he be traded or not will change on a weekly basis because that's where we're at, especially during combine time where there's a lot of talk behind closed doors. So Jeremy Fowler on February 17th was on with Johnny Marks. And here he is talking about what the Eagles may do on the second day of the NFL draft.
Yeah, that's certainly on the radar from the people I've talked to and just from observing the team and what they've done in the past. And, we know what they did with drafting Jalen Hurts in the second round when they had Carson Wentz. And I believe that formula could work for them yet again. And, it's a crucial time for Hurts. I believe he's at a crossroad. I know he's had great success there, and some would disagree with that. But some of the shortcomings were pretty obvious last year. And this is now a time where they get a new offensive coordinator in Sean Mannion, who comes from Green Bay, where they did a lot of under center work and a lot of play action and a lot of motions and shifts and all that fun stuff that a lot of offenses do that he hasn't really executed in Philadelphia. So there's going to be change that he's going to have to embrace. Now, maybe this can help bring the best out of him, but he's going to have to come around to that change. So I believe that the hire applies a little pressure in that way subconsciously, whether they want to send a message or not. I believe that it does send a message.
So the reason why I want to have this topic is because Jalen Hurts is another. Let's say you always do that when we say majority. You say at least 51% or 50.1%.
50.01% is the majority.
I would say the majority of Eagles fans love A.J. Brown.
I would agree. Even some of the ones like me who love what he did for this franchise till this year. I didn't love this year.
And the majority of Eagles fans love Jalen Hurts.
No questions asked.
All right? So, once more, before you do the whole, well, it was the media. If the Eagles were to trade A.J. Brown, what would your reaction be with the situation with the Philadelphia Eagles, with A.J. Brown? And the reason why I bring up that question is because every time somebody says they're not going to trade him, and I say, well, what happens if they do? Like, are you going to, I'm not saying apologize because I don't care. I don't need you to apologize.
Because we're all wrong about
But are you just going to admit, like, all right, maybe I was off on this. Maybe there was, because the amount of denying that A.J. Brown could potentially be traded for the last couple of months, there's a lot of it out there. So what happens if he does get traded? What if the Eagles draft a quarterback in the second day? Now, there's a reason why they would do it, all right? Before you think about lighting a fire under Jalen Hurts and creating competition and the Hurts-Wentz thing, Tanner McKee's entering the final year of his deal. There's talks about him potentially being traded.
He could be traded for a third-day pick to the New York Jets, among other teams that are potentially interested.
I would trade my backup quarterback that's going into his free agent season that probably won't re-sign here for a draft pick. Like,
would you trade him? Would you trade him right now for as is out there and being NFL Network yesterday? Would you trade him right now for a third-day pick and then draft a quarterback?
Yes, because I like Tanner McKee.
I've seen Tanner McKee.
Tom Brady McKee is not something that comes out of my mouth in a glowing way, right? People are like, oh my God, he's so good.
I've seen Tanner McKee. I've seen Tanner McKee, and I like Tanner McKee.
Sure,
and it's great.
Tanner
McKee can win you could win you a game in a situation. It's great. I can draft a quarterback that can win me a game.
Yeah, like so from a football
or develop one
from a football standpoint.
Right.
It makes too much sense. But I also understand when you hear Jeremy Fowler talk about it could light a fire. Jalen Hurts is at a crossroads. We've been talking about a potential extension for Jalen Hurts, and that's been relatively quiet.
It's the end of the guaranteed money next season. So Jalen has no guaranteed money after next year, meaning the Eagles could wiggle out.
So
after next year.
How would you react? I'm not asking you to tell me it's going to happen or not. I don't want you getting angry with us today.
Exactly. We're not saying to do it.
How would you react if the Eagles did, in fact, draft a quarterback on the second day? Because you know that when that happens, that's going to create some drama. Did it not when they drafted Jalen Hurts? Now, part of it was, why are you drafting him when you have Carson Wentz? Now that we saw how it worked for the Eagles, would you freak out if they did it again?
I would be extremely – well, here's the deal. Right now, the Eagles have 2 third-round picks, 1 second-round pick, and 1 first-round pick. So if they picked up another first-round pick for A.J. Brown in an A.J. Brown trade, I would have no problem with them drafting a second-day quarterback.
Because let's face it, when they drafted Hurts, it wasn't Hurts that was the problem. There was for some people, but it was more so you needed like 8 different positions.
What did you say the next day? Do you remember? What were you doing the next day? What were you producing for who?
I think I was with Ant.
Okay, so you were there
when was that draft? 2021?
It was the 2020 draft.
The COVID draft. That's right.
2020.
He was. Roger was in his basement.
Because I still have the tweets
Yeah.
Because I was in another city.
I was upset that they didn't draft a safety, a linebacker, a wide receiver.
I wanted a wide receiver. I wanted a wide receiver for Carson Wentz or something, or a toy. But at the time, I said...
I also hated the Jalen Reagor pick. That was the same draft, right? That was the first round. So I did not like the Reagor pick, and I thought they were going to... remember Denzel Mims?
I said, love the player, not the pick. Love the player, not the pick. Because I thought a lot of Jalen Hurts.
Sure.
I just didn't understand what was going on, but it was based on the injuries of Carson Wentz, and I figured, okay, they just don't believe in his health history.
So these are two likely scenarios. All right? I know there's a lot of people that say, it's never going to happen. These are two likely scenarios. That A.J. Brown gets traded and that the Eagles draft a quarterback on the second day. What would your reactions be to both of them? You could text in. You could call in 610-632-0975. YouTube, we want you to be a part of it as well from an actual talking standpoint.
Please.
So be a part of the show. We appreciate it. Coming up next, speaking of if the Eagles trade A.J. Brown, John Kincade believes there are multiple players in the upcoming draft that can replace him. We'll get into that next. Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The Combine drills begin. I'm Connor Thomas, and the NFL Combine continues with drills starting for the players today. We've already gotten a bunch of news out of Indy, with a lot of it centering on the trade future of one A.J. Brown. Adam Schefter joined us yesterday on Kincade and Salciunas, and he talked about where he stands on the A.J. Brown situation.
They like him back. They didn't say beyond a shadow of a doubt that he's back. That seems to be the line that they're adopting now. I don't know if that's to raise the sale price, but that's kind of where it's at right now. My sense would be that he's back, but it's certainly not a certainty.
So Shefty, for the second straight week, is telling us he's leaning towards A.J. Brown returning, but there's a lot of folks that believe trading him is still very much on the table, so only time will tell how the situation develops. We'll keep you updated on news from the Combine as the drills begin. The Flyers fell to the Capitals 3-1 last night down in D.C. in what could have been a big win standings-wise. Unfortunately, the struggles they hit pre-Olympic break continued last night. They'll take on the Rangers in New York tonight at 8 p.m. That game over on WMMR. Sixers host the Heat at 7 p.m. You can do that game live here on the Fanatic. Joel Embiid currently listed as probable. Phillies beat the Tigers 5-3 down in Florida. Otto Kemp went yard in the game. Union play their second leg against Defense Force tonight in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, up 5-0 on aggregate in that one. We'll talk to Scott Lauber at 7:30. Andrew DeCecco live from the Combine at 8:05. This update's brought to you by Pico. Remember, when it's cold outside, it takes more energy to stay warm inside. Pico offers tools to help you save energy. Visit pico.com/winter. I'm Connor Thomas for 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
gotta produce. Charity comes in many forms. Kincade Salciunas is back from the break. I wonder what they're going to get into.
This hour of Kincade Salciunas is presented by Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White, they're here for the pro.
You know, we have two people that already broke rules, John. I asked you not to get angry.
Oh, yeah, good try.
Who's angry?
I asked you not to get angry.
So who's angry?
I asked you from here, man, from the bottom of my heart. I asked you not to get angry with the topic today.
You cheated on me when I specifically told you not to?
All we asked was, how would you react if A.J. Brown did indeed get traded, right? What if he did? Because there's a lot of talk of it.
You asked the question. You just asked the question.
And what if
What
the
now?
Eagles draft a quarterback on day 2?
By the way, I'm all into that one.
Because Jeremy Fowler said, hey, don't be surprised if they do that. Tanner McKee, they might trade him, and then you need a backup, right?
Yes.
And instead of paying a lot of money for a backup quarterback, you might want to draft one, try to develop them. It wasn't that long ago where Howie Roseman called the Philadelphia Eagles a quarterback factory.
And
So let's not forget that.
And honestly, they had the sort of the results to show, hey, it sort of worked out that way.
32, this show has an agenda to run A.J. Brown out of Philly.
Run A.J. Brown out of town. Yes, because when the Eagles were 4-0, we
shouldn't have talked about the tweet.
in the locker room
Should have left the tweet
after
alone.
the game when we were in Tampa celebrating that win with the Philly Sports Trips crowd, we were the ones who put out that tweet. We were the ones who created that story. Yeah, the media created that. You can take that take and you can put it somewhere like in a deep drawer. Stuff it in a deep drawer because it is the biggest load of crap ever. Ever. This is a story that AJ created out of nowhere. Nobody created it for him. He created it. This team was 4-0. This team was perfect. By the way, Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith were also cruising in the offense, and things were going great. But AJ wasn't happy.
And then the lovely Renee, she can't deal with people making poop emoji up. I'm guessing that was in response. I'm guessing that's in response to the Jalen Hurts thing, which again,
What do you mean?
that's to me that's logical football stuff. Like I'm not trying to create like is there going to be a quarterback controversy? It's the Eagles might have to draft a quarterback.
No, they're going to have to.
And it's not going to be, with all due respect, because I know he's a local kid, like a Kyle McCord in the 6th round, right?
They're going to have to draft one because of the fact that they have to develop one.
Yeah, if somebody, God forbid, Jalen gets hurt, and if you do trade Tanner McKee, which
they probably
he's going
will.
into his final year, so if you're not, you don't want to lose him for nothing, right? So you trade him for something, and then you develop another quarterback that you hope can be the next Tanner McKee or the next Nick Foles. Or if a situation does come up, the next Jalen Hurts, right? If that situation comes up, I'm not saying that it will because I don't think if the Eagles draft a quarterback, Hurts will have the same meltdown that Carson Wentz did.
No, I think Jalen Hurts will. I think Jalen Hurts, if a young quarterback came in, I think you would see Jalen Hurts be the best teammate ever to a young quarterback. Because I saw Jalen Hurts at Alabama do it when Jalen Hurts was supplanted as the starting quarterback to Tua.
Yeah.
And I saw Jalen Hurts be the best quarterback ever and heard Nick Saban tell you that it was one of the best displays of leadership he had ever seen from a player. So that is what I fully expect. If the Eagles are going to have to. They know Tanner McKee goes, they're going to have to draft a quarterback. Yeah. And I do believe they're going to have to move on. It's not going to be because they want to move
quarterback
on. Quarterback
controversy, all that kind of stuff.
I'll promise you right now, without question, Jalen Hurts will be the person who puts his arm around the young quarterback and helps develop him.
Absolutely.
Because that is Jalen Hurts' MO. He's not afraid.
You know why else? And I love Jalen Hurts. Right?
Jalen's not weak. Jalen's not weak.
Jalen wants to win too, right? So Jalen knows that if something were to happen to him, if he gets hurt for 2 weeks, I'm not even saying 8-week, 10-week season-ending injury. How many times have we seen Jalen Hurts miss a game or two? Almost every single season.
Yeah.
Right? Like
it happens
up until this year.
It's happened often. Correct.
Every year up until this year, he missed a game or exited a game. I'm sure he wants to still win the games that he does not play in.
Yeah.
Whereas Carson Wentz was like,
I'm scared.
Can you believe that this team's winning without us? Like, Jalen's the opposite of Carson Wentz. So we have text messages, 610-632-0975. You can call in as well. What would your reaction be? Just talk about it.
Jalen-
All right? If AJ got traded, if there was a quarterback drafted in day 2, because this is an interesting offseason for
Correct.
the Eagles. That's what happens when you lose, by the way, in the first round of the playoffs, and there was a lot of nonsense about the offensive coordinator, and there was a lot of drama. It leads to this stuff. What do we got on the text line?
This texter checks in on the Jalen conversation. Says, to me, spending a day 2 pick on a quarterback is a waste if you intend for that guy to be a backup. They got lucky with Jalen, so I would be upset. Offensive line, tight end, corner, edge, if you lose Phillips, are way more valuable positions than a developmental QB. Round 4 or later is acceptable.
So the thing is, and I get what he's saying, the texter, because that's how I felt 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Like,
Okay.
that's how I felt. When that draft happened, it wasn't, I hate Jalen Hurts. It was, I hate this pick because the Eagles need so many other things. But can you deny that it completely worked out for him?
What were those positions that he mentioned on that text, Connor? Again, can we rattle them off?
Tight end, corner, edge,
Okay.
offensive line.
I'm going to tell you this: you win nothing if Jalen Hurts turns an ankle. You win nothing without a quarterback. You need to have a quarterback, and you have a quarterback here who is not weak-minded. Jalen will develop a young quarterback. Jalen will work with a young quarterback. Jalen will work to make sure that this young man, whoever comes in,
But to the texter's point, there's already a quarterback here. Like, you don't,
Yeah, but he's going-
you don't
no.
have to trade
but
Tanner
he's not
McKee.
going to be. But he's not part of your future.
Right.
He's not part of your future. So that is not Tanner McKee is not going to be here a year from now. Period.
Right. It's really. Do you want to draft the backup now or next year? Like,
Correct.
that's
And
what it's going to ultimately
That's what
come
it's
down
going
to.
to. That is what it's coming down to.
All right. And we have one on the A.J. Brown topic. What do we got?
Yes, we do. This texter checks in, says, if AJ is traded, I will be disappointed, and the blame goes to only one guy, Sirianni. He's supposed to be the locker room players' coach, and his support and defense of Patullo allowed the frustrations of many players, ultimately leading to AJ wanting
Look,
out.
A.J. Brown's allowed to take some blame, too. Like,
Come on now.
Let's face it. Look, I hear what you're saying because Nick Sirianni, that's what he's talked about, especially when we go, what does he do? What does he do around here? One of the things is his ability to keep everybody happy in house, but he can't. I'm holding the phone for YouTube to see. He can't control that. Like,
Where are all the other players? By the way, the other players. There was a lot of other players that were frustrated too. There were other. I guarantee you, Devontae Smith was frustrated. I guarantee you that other players on the offense were frustrated. And you know what they were? Professionals. They didn't have to go to Instagram. They didn't have to create Discord. They were professionals, and they went about their business, and they didn't let it affect the team.
all right. Speaking of A.J. Brown potentially
Yes?
being traded,
Okay.
we have Andrew DeCecco joining us coming up at 8:05. He is in Indianapolis for the Combine, so we'll ask him, about some of the names that he's going to keep a close eye on. But if they trade A.J. Brown,
yes.
you need a new wide receiver for multiple reasons. One, you need to replace A.J. Brown. Two, Jahan Dotson's a free agent, and is he a guy that the Eagles must bring back? I don't think so.
No, unless he wants to be here and it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah, right. But still, he's not replacing A.J. Brown.
No.
Right, he's just Jahan Dotson again. He's not taking over what A.J. Brown was able to do. So you've already started.
I've already looked at
Johnny
it.
drafts.
No, I mean, and I'm going to leave the analysis of these players when it comes to draft time. I'm going to leave these up to guys like Andrew DeCecco. But what I'm going to tell you is there are players in this draft. So what I did just for this little exercise is to say to you, give me a player that you could draft in this draft. Who? This was my criteria. Is A.J. Brown's stature, so physical stature.
Yeah, because you don't want two Devontae Smiths.
Correct. I want somebody who physically can fit the bill. So he has a physical stature that he can match an A.J. Brown type of body frame. In fact, they can match. So every guy that I went can either match him almost exactly right now or with a few more pounds added to them, 5 to 10 pounds, could match them coming up. And the Eagles' weight room could easily get it on them in a matter of time. And I also say a guy that could be drafted in the same neighborhood where A.J. Brown was drafted. So I said, give me a guy who could be drafted right about where A.J. Brown was drafted, which was in the middle of the second round. So that kind of draft pick. And so physically he has to be the same. The draft pick that you would probably have to use to get him has to be relatively the same. And more importantly, somebody who did more in college than A.J. Brown did. Denzel Boston, Chris Bell, Elijah Surratt. Those are three guys you can just rattle off right there that are three guys in the draft that are, you could get them relatively same type of pick, physically the same type of stature as A.J. Brown today. This is before the Eagles' weight room and growing up.
Right.
These guys are still young men, 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds, before they get more meat on their frame and everything, that had as successful or more successful college careers than A.J. Brown. And there are three that you could get in the same neighborhood shopping if you wanted to. By the way, multiple draft guides yesterday identifying this. Our Lads is just one of the ones I love. I love Our Lads and others. The best wide receiver class in the first 2 rounds in the last decade. This is a great wide receiver class in the first 2 rounds. There are wide receivers in the first round that are really, really good too. So, but if you just went by stature, the physical nature, where you would draft them and be able to get a guy, and guys who were better than AJ in college, there are a slew. By the way, there are guys, if you could get them before the draft pick, that are projected to go in the same neighborhood or right around the same neighborhood. You could probably get 6 wide receivers who had better college careers than A.J. Brown. So all I'm saying to you is, just because you don't know the talent that's in the draft, there are guys that NFL teams know. And this would be the year. But this is the year to go get somebody. If you're going to go get somebody, it's the year to do it.
I think my biggest hang-up is just that I know who A.J. Brown is. Right? Not in terms of, like, I know his name. It's
No, you do. You're correct.
I know that he is a talented wide receiver.
Oh, he's an amazing wide receiver. There's no
you're
argument
also
about
talking
that.
to bleep the prospects guy, right? That, like, I'd rather have proven versus unknown, and I know that A.J. Brown is a proven player.
And there's no question. You are absolutely correct. I mean, you're never going to, you could do that with any player. But there are guys in this draft that are more accomplished than A.J. was in college, that are physically already his stature, who you can get in the draft, and you probably can get a lot of them in the second round.
Okay.
So
Johnny Drafts.
This is where you can go. Now, I'll leave the analysis of those players and their abilities up to guys like Andrew DeCecco, who joins us later in the show.
8:05 today. By the way, Flyers.
Oh, jeez.
Woof.
Woof is not the word.
Woof. At least they lit the lamp. Start the third period.
Lit the lamp.
It was tied at one point.
Flyers lose to the
Yeah,
Cavs.
it was.
2 points.
Any other cliches? At the beginning of the game and then? Yeah.
Flyers lose to the Caps last night, 3-1. So you said yesterday, clock's ticking.
Yeah,
they need to start winning to make the playoffs. They need a win.
Dude, if we come in here tomorrow morning after another loss, I might be ready to play taps.
Oh, boy.
I'm serious. I might be ready to play taps. It sucks.
All right, coming up next, we'll check more of our text messages. What would your reaction be if AJ was traded, if the Eagles drafted quarterback on day 2? Also, did we get our first dose of tampering in the NFL already? Illegal tampering? It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The official start of the
at least most of the time. Now let's listen to more Kincade and Salciunas before I change my mind.
All right, 6:47 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. We'll get back to our text messages here momentarily. Just want to know what your reaction would be.
Correct.
Not to get all up in your feelings. What would your reaction be if A.J. Brown did get traded? What would your reaction be if the Eagles did draft a quarterback on day 2? 610-632-0975. We'll get back to our text messages. But as we started talking about earlier in the show, Mike Vrabel spoke to members of the media yesterday at the Combine. So all the GMs spoke on Tuesday. Yesterday, some head coaches spoke. Nick spoke on Tuesday as well, but some head coaches spoke yesterday, including Mike Vrabel. And Mike Vrabel was... Did they ask specifically about A.J. Brown? I know we talked about A.J. Brown, the person, but I know that there was also...
Yes.
Because he's got to be careful with some of the things that he's saying during the illegal tampering period.
You should have worn a freaking lobster bib for this comment.
All right, here was Mike Vrabel on one of the better wide receivers in the National Football League.
The relationship with players, and specifically he asked about AJ, has meant a lot. I've watched him grow. I've watched him mature. I'm proud of him. Proud of the father that he is. I'm proud of the husband, and that has nothing to do with where he plays and where he played. So those are the things that are important. We reach out and text each other during the things that happen good to each other, and sometimes things don't go so well for the people that you're close with, and you text those as well. So it's a two-way street of support and reminders of what got us to where we are.
Mike must have, I'm thinking just doesn't understand the English language. It has nothing to do with where he played or who he played for or whatever. No, it does, Mike, because you wouldn't even know A.J. Brown. He wouldn't know what kind of a father he is. It has everything to do with your personal relationship with A.J. Brown. I respect him so much because it has nothing to do with the fact of where he played or who he played for. No, Mike, it did, because that's the only way you know A.J. Brown. You wouldn't know A.J. Brown otherwise.
Right,
you'd have no relationship.
Sure, you got to know him, yeah.
Yeah, so don't tell me that it didn't have anything. It has everything to do with. It didn't have anything to do with where he played or who he played for. Yes, it did, Mike. That's exactly what it had to do with.
Yeah, because you got to know him.
He's trying to hide from a tampering charge there, and that's what that's about. He's that. I don't know how that isn't tampering. I honestly don't. I do not know how, in league circles, that is not considered tampering.
I guess because he was asked about him as a person. Was he asked about him as the person? Like, we don't have the question. So maybe the question was, hey, talk about A.J. Brown, the person. And maybe that's why he answered the way that he did.
Talk about A.J. Brown, the person?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's tampering.
I don't think that's tampering. If you speak about the person.
The person.
Yeah.
We don't speak about players on other franchises. By the way, that is normal policy in the NFL, is you do not comment on players on other players' rosters. That is common policy. That is commonly how it is handled. You do not talk about players on others' rosters.
He should have pulled a Bill Belichick next question?
You just say usually.
We're on to the Combine?
No, usually the comment would be in a press conference is you do not talk about players that are under contract with other teams. That is the usual comment offered. To avoid being charged with tampering.
Yeah, right.
That it's a double talk, but it's what you.
Now
what you
I'm going to guess that will not be a tampering charge. Like the most egregious one was Kirk Cousins admitting that he had been talking to the training staff
before. It was the Falcons training staff. He was talking with them the day before free agency.
He said it on his press conference. Yeah, when I was talking to the training staff, it was like, what?
But then you had that rat, James Franklin.
Yeah, James Franklin with the Saquon Barkley.
Such a rat.
He absolutely is. And now he got it down. All right, what do we got on the text line? 610-632-0975.
All right, so Angel from Philly checks in and says
Angel?
What's up?
What's up, Angel?
The AJ trade, I want him to stay on the team, but if they do trade him, my reaction will depend on what we get back. If the return makes sense, then I'm all in. And also on the quarterback stuff, in my opinion, the second round is too soon for a backup quarterback that's starting QB territory.
How'd it work last time?
I think Hurts is the exception, not the rule.
Do you want to get a good one? Do you do you want to get a guy who could actually be an NFL quarterback?
Now I will say, this quarterback draft class is not one where it's like, I need that guy. I don't think there's other than Mendoza. I don't think there's a guy that teams are like, we need that player.
I don't think you're talking about what you need where you're saying, okay, I need him. I would take Garrett Nussmeier if you're talking about who I would take.
As a project.
I wouldn't take him as a project.
But I don't think he'll be there on day 2, no?
On day 2, you think he's going in the first round? I don't think he's going in the first round.
I think there's a lot of teams.
There's going to be a team that'll probably trade into the back end of the first round so
I
they
don't
can
know
have the fifth-year option.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going in the first round. If he does, but I absolutely would take him.
I mean, you know this league, man.
Even then, though, like let's say AJ doesn't get traded and you have one first-round pick. You're using your second pick in this draft to go get Jalen Hurts' backup? Hey, that does not seem like...
I don't want to do it, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like,
Connor,
I really wouldn't be.
If you have 5 picks in the first 2 rounds, in the first 2 days, if you end up with an A.J. Brown trade and you have 5 picks in the first 2 days, I would have no problem doing it.
Well, sure, the A.J. stuff changes it. But
well,
I'm just
saying, here, I'm telling you right now, and it might happen before I get back from the islands. It's happening. That trade's happening before the draft.
I mean,
that
you
trade,
you can say that, but we've got reporters telling us 50-50. So
I got you.
I can't
and
live
you know
in a world
what?
where
And
it's a
a couple weeks ago, they were telling you it wasn't going to happen.
Okay,
I'm telling you, it's going to. I believe the trade is absolutely happening. I believe that you're reading the tea leaves now. All of a sudden, now people are going, yeah, it seems like it is. Now you got Jeff McClain, who was telling you it wasn't happening, is now telling you he's leaning towards it happening.
Yeah, so we have the audio. This was Jeff McClain on his podcast, Uncovering the Birds. And then after that, an interesting tweet from Rob Motti yesterday, who's at the Combine, so he's talking to people. This was Jeff McClain on A.J. Brown.
You know, I don't know. Again, this is why I think it's very much 50-50. I don't think AJ is necessarily unhappy in Philadelphia. I mean, he's said as much publicly, but from what I understand, just talking to people close to him and talking to AJ before the end of the season, he wants to be here. Now, as I said before in the previous podcast, it's like, yeah, but does he want to be here with this quarterback and in this offense? Now, the offense is changing, and we'll get into that in a little bit here, but could that be something that changes, AJ's feelings about the offense and how Jalen Hurts will perform as a drop back quarterback?
Hopefully Sean Mannion, because I want A.J. Brown here. I saw one of our YouTube chats saying A.J. Browns don't grow on trees. Exactly. That's why I don't want him traded. Like, I want A.J. Brown to stay here.
So he wants to, you heard his thing. Does A.J. wants to be here? Then here's what I would say to Jeff McClain. The follow-up question would be, then there's one person who can put an end to this. That's A.J. Brown. If he really wanted to be here, all he has to do is say, folks, there's nothing to this. I want to be here. Stop talking about it. I want to be an Eagle. Stop talking about it. But he doesn't want the talk to stop. There's a reason. One person could end all this. He hasn't ended it. There's a reason he hasn't ended it. He loves it.
All right, coming up next, we'll reset the topics. Rob Motti put out an interesting nugget yesterday about A.J. Brown and other wide receivers. You'll hear that next. Also, we got some Phillies talk. Someone did a really deep dive ranking all the lineups in Major League Baseball. I'll tell you where the Phillies rank compared to other teams of note. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Combine week continues. I'm Connor Thomas, and the NFL Combine is continuing for Indianapolis. Today, we get the actual drills beginning. Before this, we've just basically gotten folks talking about a bunch of stuff around the NFL. That's good for the Eagles with some big storylines going on. Adam Schefter has talked about it, and Jeff McClain on his Uncovering the Birds podcast talked about his latest feeling on where things are with the A.J. Brown trade scenarios.
This is why I think it's very much 50-50. I don't think A.J. is necessarily unhappy in Philadelphia. I mean, he's said as much publicly. Now, as I said before, it's like, yeah, but does he want to be here with this quarterback and in this offense?
And that's a fair question, so we'll keep an eye on how the A.J. Brown situation develops. We'll also keep an eye on the prospects that will take the field in Indianapolis to see who the Eagles could look at in the draft. The Flyers fell to the Capitals 3-1 last night down in D.C. in what could have been a big win standings-wise. Unfortunately, their struggles that they hit pre-Olympic break continued last night. They'll take on the Rangers in New York tonight at 8 p.m. You know that game over on WMMR. Sixers host the Heat at 7 p.m. That game live here on the Fanatic. Joel Embiid listed as probable for that one. Phils beat the Tigers 5-3 down in Florida yesterday. Otto Kemp home run in that game. So nice show of pop there from Kemp. The Union play their second leg against Defense Force tonight in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They're up 5-0 on aggregate. Scott Lauber will join us coming up at 7:30 for a spring training report. Andrew DeCecco live from the Combine at 8:05. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic.
Tune in Middays with Marks. You guessed it with me, John Marks. That's coming up at 10 o'clock. Let's get back to more of Kincade Salciunas right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Connor, would you take something weird for free?
Yeah, sure.
I did the shopping last week, and we needed toilet paper, and I found some on sale because I'm cheap.
Oh, no.
It's the stuff that's a little too soft that if you use too much of it, it will immediately clog your toilet.
Oh, no.
You live in an apartment complex.
I do.
So you don't have to worry about pipes. Would you like multiple rolls of toilet paper?
Sure.
I'll bring them in for you tomorrow.
Brother,
Okay,
after the
what
dinner I
kind-
had last night, I could use it.
Okay, you're talking about like what do you mean it's too soft?
It's like Charmin Ultra soft.
Oh, no.
Look, it feels nice, but if
If you're using too much, and then you have a kid, too.
yeah.
Kids sometimes
I know. Yeah.
use too much.
And you don't want to clog the toilet, especially when you're already having some issues with the plumbing at the house because of the snowstorms. So I'll give it to you tomorrow.
Well, we might need to send it to Italy. More on that in today's headline.
Oh, what
looking
a
forward to
tease.
it. Coming up at 7:47.
Connor with toilet teases.
Love that. All right, here's what we're talking about so far today. How would you react? All right? This isn't, hey, would you do it? This isn't, this is going to happen.
This is listening ears on.
How would you react?
Yes.
So no need to get so angry today.
Listening ears on. Yes,
Because I get it. You're tired of the A.J. Brown stuff. Same. But
Yeah.
it's not done anytime soon.
And there's one guy who could end it all.
Yeah.
There's one guy who could put an end to all this anytime he wanted.
How would you react if A.J. Brown was indeed traded. Now, I already saw it on YouTube, and I know it's going to happen on Instagram, and I know it's going to happen on Twitter, and I know it's going to happen on the text line, the phone line, carrier pigeon, you name it. It's the media's fault. Like, I know it's going to happen.
How will it be blamed on the media? I got to hear this.
Because it's a coping mechanism, John.
No, but
there will be no backing to it.
Okay, but how will it be spun that it's the media's fault?
It won't be spun. They'll just say
it's a keyboard. Media's fault. Boom.
It's not rational, but it's
I got my emotions out.
Okay, so there's be dopes then. Okay,
sure.
Good.
If you want to say that.
I absolutely do.
How would you react? And we also, because we played something earlier in the show from Jeremy Fowler. He joined Middays with Marks last week.
He did.
And talked about how the Eagles could draft a quarterback on day 2. Now, when I think of that as quarterback factory, which is what Howie Roseman said. Jeremy Fowler added a lot more to it, saying, hey, it might spark a little fire under Jalen Hurts. They have a new offensive coordinator that does things that maybe Jalen Hurts is not so great at, doesn't necessarily excel at it, the under center, drop back quarterback kind of stuff. So maybe they want to develop a guy. Jalen Hurts, we're starting talking about guaranteed money. When is this the last year of it?
It's the end of the year of guaranteed money. So they're not. Look, I don't expect anything like that to happen. But they could be free of guaranteed money if Jalen Hurts at the end of this year.
There's a world where that happens. I don't think it happens.
I don't think it happens.
There's a world where that happens.
But there is a world where it happens.
I don't think that's going to, again, because people will freak out. To make it clear, I don't think that happens. But how would you react if the Eagles did indeed draft a quarterback on day 2? 610-632-0975. Yesterday, we had Rob Motti on, and Rob is in Indianapolis. So he's talking to a lot of people. And Rob's the senior writer for the Associated Press. He believes that if the Eagles were to trade A.J. Brown, it would be a day 2 pick in return.
Yeah, he doesn't think it'll be a first rounder.
I was out for a 1 and a 4. If it's a second, I'm done. Like, again, I want Howie Roseman to receive the call on the landline so that he can actually click it. I don't want him to tap the iPhone.
You got it. Okay, good.
I'm out. Like, I'm not even thinking about it.
So you're gonna say Howie put up with all the nonsense again.
Well, I already want to put up with all the nonsense, because I want him back.
Sean Mannion, come in here and try to put up with all the nonsense.
No, Sean Mannion just has to do his job.
Yeah, maybe he likes Sean Mannion. Maybe he likes Sean Mannion. We just played the clip from Jeff McClain in the last segment. Maybe he likes Sean Mannion's offense. But Rob also added something interesting. An NFL team. All right, he didn't say who. He didn't say multiple. An NFL team that feels it's a wide receiver 1 away from Super Bowl contention will more likely pursue Mike Evans in free agency than trade premium draft picks for A.J. Brown. I don't think he's talking about the 5 teams that we've mentioned: New England, we've mentioned Denver, we've mentioned Buffalo, we've mentioned numerous teams, Baltimore.
I see Baltimore as the perfect fit for Mike Evans. If Mike Evans is going to go somewhere on a 1-year, like try to win a Super Bowl thing,
sure,
him and Lamar. That's where I would see something like that happening. Mike Evans goes there. It just has a Baltimore type feel to it.
Sure.
But, because then you don't have to give up anything from Mike Evans. Mike Evans can go wherever he wants.
Right. I wonder how many teams view it that way. And, oh, by the way, there's only one Mike Evans. So if Mike Evans does get signed, then is there all of a sudden then all the other teams
race
to the market for A.J. Brown?
How about Mike Evans to Kansas City? Mike Evans goes, I'll go play with Patrick Mahomes.
Problem is, you're not getting Mahomes for most of this year.
Well, they're not saying that though, Connor. They're saying like if you read some of the stuff, late September.
And Mahomes seems like the guy that the second he steps on the field, he'll be fine.
Quick healer.
Kind of like how his knee magically healed at halftime in
That's
Super Bowl 57.
a risk for a guy taking a shot late in his career.
On the 1 year thing, you're saying,
yeah, like if I'm going somewhere where I know the quarterback's healthy.
Okay. Fair enough.
What about going somewhere where you know the quarterback's great?
Well, you got 2 others. Lamar and Josh Allen are both great.
Look, Mike Evans has also had...
How about you know the quarterback's great in late January?
Mike Evans has also had success with numerous quarterbacks, like Josh Freeman, Ryan Tannehill. He's one of my favorite players.
Is he really?
Yes. Yeah. The fact that he had the 1,000-yard streak end this year actually made me kind of
He is a fantastic player.
And it was only because of injury. It's not because of inability.
I think he may be one of the greatest players that is hardly talked about.
I believe he's one of the more underrated players ever. The guy had 9 straight seasons of 1,000 yards.
One of the greatest players to me that is hardly
And
talked
with numerous quarterbacks, like before Tom Brady got there and before the success they've had with Baker Mayfield,
Absolutely.
there's a lot of quarterbacks that he had to catch passes from to reach the 1,000-yard mark.
Future Rams quarterback Baker Mayfield?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You're on that one. All right, what do we got on the text line? And then we're going to get into an interesting Phillies talking point.
I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah, got to give the guy, Bradford Doolittle, a lot of credit. Deep. It's numbers. So this isn't opinion. This is a statistical analysis.
Okay.
And I know there's one thing that's going to freaking drive you nuts, John.
Well, the guy's got his doctorate. He should know what he's talking about.
Oh, he does because he's Dr.
Dr. Doolittle,
Yeah, that's
yes.
good.
What do we got on the text line, Connor?
Frank from Tacony checks in, says, I'm done with A.J. Brown. Reading a book on the sideline, quitting on routes, not satisfied with the Super Bowl ring, crying on Twitter. I won't even mention the salary and pampering. Get lost, diva. Enjoy New England.
Yeah,
see, like, I'm not there. You're more there.
I'm just frustrated.
Than I'm not even close.
I just I called it before the Super Bowl parade. This is a problem. This is a problem. When somebody on Super Bowl week is already voicing their displeasure, I'm like, this is going to be a problem.
I was just happy we had Super Bowl.
And it was.
week.
Oh no, I am. Yeah, and it was. And it was a problem.
I would like another one.
Somebody wasn't happy with team success. Team success wasn't enough for him. He couldn't even let team success go 2 days.
Well, maybe next time we'll have team success and he'll be the MVP, and then everybody's happy.
I'm more. I'll take team success and find guys that are more about team success.
What else we got on the text line? 610-632-0975. Just wondering what your reaction would be. No need to get upset.
This texter says, don't want AJ to be traded, but I'm okay with it if we get good compensation. First-round pick or a high second-round pick.
I like the that rationale.
See, the second, I'm out. Like, I'm an immediate hang-up.
What does it tell you if it's a high second-round pick? What does that tell you? What's the league telling you?
That he's a 29-year-old wide receiver.
Correct. That they're seeing as like not had separation and quits on routes and
sure.
Like
I mean, look at some of
the
top,
league is gonna speak on AJ Brown by his value.
A lot of the top wide receivers are also very young. Right now, I get it. I get Puka played with Matthew Stafford, which may help the MVP, but maybe Puka Nacua also helped the MVP out.
Oh well,
right?
Did you hear Matt talk about it? I mean, Matt pretty much tossed the praise everywhere else, which is great.
I mean, what the point that you're making about you mentioned 3 names of wide receivers that could be in this draft that resemble.
They are physical resemblance to my criteria was this. Physical resemblance to A.J. Brown right now. So coming out of college, they are the physical stature of A.J. Brown. They are available with a draft pick that you could get comparably in the neighborhood of A.J. Brown in this draft, projected by drafts. And they were as good, if not better, in their college careers than A.J. Brown.
Well, and when you say, what does that tell you, right? I'm going to
say, what does it tell you if he doesn't get...
well, and I say the 29-year-old thing. Here, this is
which, by the way, is not a knock on AJ.
No, it's not.
He's 29. You know what I mean?
But what I'm getting at is you can find young players. This is fact. I'm not making something up. Jackson Smith and Jigba was the number 1 receiver in the NFL with almost 1,800 yards.
He was unbelievable.
He's 23 years old. Puka Nacua, 1,700 yards. He's 24. George Pickens, 1,400 yards. He's 24. Jamar Chase is a stud. He's 25, 1,400 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's 26. Right. The guy closest to A.J. Brown age that was up on that list, Cortland Sutton is 30 years old. He's 13th in the NFL. So the other 12 players ahead of them were all 26 or younger.
Wow, I didn't know that.
There's so much because college football is now such a pass-happy league, right? It's a little bit different. You can find more wide receivers.
And that's all the more reason to tell you that you can where the Eagles can say this is a headache that you just gotta remedy the headache.
Yeah, I'd just be careful with the stature thing because there's more to it. I know you're not just boiling it down.
No, but I'm just telling you, it's just that coming out. What did they know about A.J. Brown? They knew the kind of physical player he was.
Right.
They knew the kind of college career he had.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm giving you is that's the criteria I use.
Right. Just for a fun example here, like AJ is 6'1", 226 is what he's listed. Ricky Batalico, playing weight, listed as 6'1", 230. Like, those are 2 very different guys.
That guy sucked.
Yeah, well,
and
who was-
Ricky's also slipped down.
Whatever
a lot
happened
since
to
the
him?
2:30.
That guy
But
was really bad.
Whatever happened to him?
there is something about the mentality and the ability that doesn't exist.
Well, that's the Eagles' job to figure that out, right?
Right, yeah, of course it is. I just want to say it's more complex than
and
Nick
by the way-
Sirianni's going to do rock, paper, scissors
And by
during,
the way,
during the meetings,
I will
and
tell
they'll
you,
find out if there's an A.J. Brown through that.
as someone who covered SEC country back in the day, A.J. Brown's the makeup of A.J. Brown was a major question coming out of college because he ducked top competition. He ducked going to compete in college. He went to where he could get, where it was less pressure, more balls thrown to him, where he wouldn't have to compete because he could have played for Nick Saban.
Yeah.
He could have played for, and he chose to go elsewhere. So people were
Worked out
questioning
for him.
that, and it did. But people were questioning his mentality of competition because he didn't want to go. He chose the path of least resistance in college. He chose the less stress route of college.
And now he's played in 2 Super Bowls.
He has,
been on
absolutely.
one winning team, been a multi-time All-Pro.
No question.
That just shows you that the draft is a crapshoot when you look at all of that stuff that you're trying to project.
He has. He's also been very, very fortunate that he got here, that he came to the Eagles, because nobody was saying that about A.J. Brown when he was in Tennessee.
No, he was really good with
He
unbelievable
was.
in
He was great in Tennessee. He's a great player in Tennessee.
His ability to win a Super Bowl ring
Is here.
changed.
Yeah, I mean,
But
don't make it like, yes.
His
that-
ability it was there when he was with Tennessee.
His ability was there. Absolutely, it was there.
All right,
But-
coming up at 7:30, we're going to be joined by Scott Lauber, live from Clearwater, Florida. Phillies were in action again yesterday. Otto Kemp went yard, Connor.
Count it.
No,
Well,
does not
One on
count.
the year.
Not in Little League parks. We do not
No.
count Little League stadiums.
And against guys wearing the number 70 on the back of their jersey. But
70
hey,
is a good number.
tip my cap to Otto Kemp. Bradford Doolittle of ESPN. Oh, by the way, the reason why we're having Scott Lauber on, he spoke with Zack Wheeler, getting
I'm
an
anxious
update
to hear about this.
on his health. Because let's face it, the pitching staff. Tom McCarthy last week said the depth hinges on Aaron Nola. That's scary. And there's also just, I think, a lot of expectation that Zack Wheeler is going to be fine.
And that's what everybody's saying.
I mean,
and
you went through the odds for Cy Young. He's a top
7th.
He's 7th, which awesome. But like
But it's
I
thin.
can't. I don't know.
this starting pitching.
What if his arm's dead? Like I
We don't have any idea.
I don't know. We'll find out. Right? We'll find out. Bradford Doolittle did a deep dive on every lineup, projected starting lineup in Major League Baseball, and using statistics. Right? Like it's not just he's not going. All right, this is what I think. He used actual statistical analysis. But then he added a few opinions in his reasoning, because one of the things that he broke down was holes in the lineup, like where
Okay.
he believes is that's him. That's
right.
there's no statistical analysis for holes in the lineup,
Sure.
right? So here are the breakdowns, and he did it by grade, like letter grade. Ability to hit. I'm guessing batting average, OPS, all that kind of stuff.
Ability to hit.
Patience at the plate. Power, base running, durability, so health,
Right.
depth, numbers against right-handed pitching, numbers against left-handed pitching.
Okay. So
All right.
there's a balance.
There's
thing.
a balance there. The number of stars in the lineup, which I don't know how he came to that. He didn't explain it
Wow.
because there's some teams where I go, I don't know if I would consider that player a star or not. And
Number of
then the number of
stars.
holes. Where do you think, when putting all this together, the Phillies coming out of all 32 teams, where do you think the Phillies rank out of all of that?
10th.
Connor?
I would say probably 7th.
All right. So you win, John.
What did they come in at?
9.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think that's about where I thought they'd. It's about where I thought they'd be.
Yeah, I got no issue with
Hitting
that.
ability is B. He gave them. Patience. You guys want to guess? What?
How
D
about
minus.
how about
D
terrible?
plus.
Oh, okay, nice.
They
They're
got it. They
terrible.
got a D plus.
They're terrible. Oh, by the way, that hitting coach has really done a good job of improving that over the years.
Power.
They're awful.
C.
C minus.
They're awful.
Durability.
Fairly good. They should get a good grade with that,
Got
pretty
B.
much. Yeah.
B. Depth.
Oh my goodness.
Poor.
Uh,
Poor.
D.
D.
Yes.
Verse right-handed pitching, B minus.
Okay.
versus left-handed pitching, C-.
Yeah,
Oh my
they've
God.
always been.
And how are
have,
they?
you
How
have
are
a
they?
full lineup that's left-handed.
How are they this high then?
So this is where I again, this is his opinion. He says there are 6 stars in the lineup. I feel like that's.
Wait a minute, 6 stars?
I feel like stars is being used very liberally, I guess.
Who does he have as stars in the Phillies lineup?
He doesn't say. So
Wait a minute. Okay.
I'm going to guess Turner, Schwarber, Harper.
Okay, Turner,
Romito.
Schwarber. That's ridiculous.
I'm going to guess Real Muto.
That's
I'm going to
ridiculous.
guess Bohm because he's an
That's
all-star.
That's ridiculous.
And then I don't know.
Oh, wait a minute. Is
Then
he just so he's
Garcia, I
not
guess.
counting
Maybe
any?
Garcia? I don't know.
That's ridiculous. 6 stars in the Phillies batting
Sure.
order?
Yeah, I don't agree.
He's out of his mind.
So he has him.
That's disregard.
He has him. Okay,
I mean,
enough
no.
with your hand.
Well, when he says 6, come on, 6 stars? That's where you just
Hey,
say
we all disagree. You don't
Yeah,
have
we
to
all
just
disagree.
disregard everything.
no. When someone tells you there's 6 stars in the Phillies batting order, you go, okay. That's where you go. Okay, I was buying that whole analysis till that point.
You're going to hate
Right,
this
it
one.
doesn't
And
kill
then
the
you
rest
go-
of the
I
analysis.
skip base running on purpose. A+.
That's ridiculous.
I totally agree
that's
with that.
They're ridiculous. On
Due
the
to statistical analysis, all the speed and all
Uh-huh.
that kind
They're
of
one of the
Totally agree with
dumbest
that.
base running teams in baseball.
I also totally agree with that.
They run into more outs. I think 2 teams in baseball run into more outs than the Phillies on the base paths.
Yeah, but they could
They're a
steal the hell
stupid-
out of some bags.
They're a stupid base running team. That is ridiculous. Those last 2 things make that nonsensical. Tells me that Doolittle watches little of the Philadelphia
Come
Phillies.
on, man.
Well,
watches
so,
little.
So he's 9th. Or the Phillies are 9th. Just to put things into perspective, who do you think is number 1?
Marlins.
No.
What?
Of course, it's the Dodgers.
The Dodgers are number 1, as you could imagine.
As they should be.
You guys want to take a stab at who 2 is and who 3 is?
2 was probably Toronto.
Toronto is 5th.
Oh, okay.
Yankees?
The Yankees are 8th.
Cubs?
Cubs are 7th.
Do they have the Mets that high?
The Mets are 3rd,
Okay.
Braves.
and the Braves are 2nd.
Yeah.
Don't
Braves,
sleep on the Braves. I keep on saying it because they were so banged up. And look, they're banged
Dude,
up already in
dude,
spring.
Braves pitching is so bad.
They're going to be hurt by July.
The Braves pitching is so.
Their lineup.
Yeah, I understand.
Their lineup's scary.
But the Braves pitching is so bad.
Their lineup's
right
scary.
now.
But yeah, they have the Braves at 2 and the Mets at 3, and the Phillies are 9th.
I can't get over it. I was buying that analysis so much. So much. I thought that was a really well done piece, and then the nonsense started. Then that started. I liked it. I liked it to that point.
Now I don't get. MBD is saying, John and Connor, you got to go along with the Chunas formula. The national guy said X. That's disrespectful. Let's get outraged. I don't find that disrespectful. The Phillies being 9th. I think that's fair.
No, I think I picked. I said 10th.
I hate the Phillies lineup.
I said 10th. I
don't-
said 10th, but his rationale.
Have I sugarcoated that at all?
He said the Phillies have 6 stars in their lineup. That is a guy who doesn't watch a lot of Phillies baseball. That's somebody that's ridiculous. You cannot name more than 3 stars. If you're going by stars, there could potentially
and that's the one that because he doesn't explain.
you could say
what he
3
means
stars in
by
the Phillies
stars.
lineup. You cannot say Alec Boehm is a star. You could say
Also
you
guy.
cannot say JT Real Muto is a star. Not today. You can. Was a star? Yes. At one time was a star? Yeah.
Coming up next, Scott Lauber, live from Clearwater. He was able to speak with Zack Wheeler and get an update on his health. That's a storyline that I think we're all just expecting to go in the Phillies' favor. I sure hope so. It's Kincade and
praying.
Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
More AJ updates. I'm Connor Thomas, and as the NFL Combine week continues, we've got more information on AJ Brown coming out. We talked to Adam Schefter yesterday here on Kincade and Salciunas, and he gave us an update as to where he's feeling the AJ Brown trade talks are at.
They like him back. They didn't say the shadow of a doubt that he's back. That seems to be the line that they're adopting now. I don't know if that's to raise the sale price, but that's kind of where it's at right now. My sense would be that he's back, but it's certainly not a certainty.
Yeah, we're at a coin flip with a lot of people right now. That's what we've been hearing throughout the week as the combine continues. So only time will tell how the situation develops. We'll keep you updated on any further news from the combine as the actual drills get going today, Thursday. So we'll see prospects out there on the field. Flyers fell to the Capitals 3-1 last night down in D.C. in what could have been a big win standings-wise. Unfortunately, same struggles that bothered them pre-Olympic break continue to bother them last night. They'll take on the Rangers in New York tonight at 8 p.m. That game over on WMMR. Sixers host the Heat at 7 p.m. You can hear that game live here on the Fanatic. Joel Embiid currently listed as probable. Phillies took down the Tigers 5-3 in spring training yesterday. Otto Kemp with a home run in the win. The Union play their second leg against Defense Force tonight in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They're up 5-0 on aggregate. We'll talk to Scott Lauber for a spring training update coming up next. Andrew Jacheco live from the Combine at 8:05. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
7 a.m. hour is brought to you by the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. Live bet sports on the BetParks app. Play all your favorite casino games. There's always another way to win on the BetParks online casino and sportsbook. Got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, I am a loser. I never hide that fact. During the commercial break, I saw a tweet from a Twitter account, Phillies and Eagles throwbacks.
I mean, this is a throwback, and you were highly entertained.
Dude, I was making noises.
You were highly entertained.
It was, you know how the Phillies do the video yearbook? It was from 2004 spring training because it was year one of Baycare Ballpark, so they wanted to make it a big deal. And the names that you see, and it's like also the reporters, like Jason Stark is 22 years younger, you know, in this video. Harry Callis's play-by-play is in this video. And the very last clip was Jason Stark talking about the addition of Billy Wagner and how much of an impact that was going to make over Jose Mesa, who had the highest ERA by a closer in the history of Major League Baseball the previous season. He struck out in the very end of the video, a player that would later make his Major League debut that year. Left-handed hitting Joe Mauer. So Joe Mauer was not even in the big leagues yet. I was going nuts watching this.
You were. I mean, he was Connor. I thought he needed a moment.
You're also the most 70-year-old, 31-year-old, or are you 32 now?
I'm 32,
he was enjoying it.
Now.
He was enjoying it so much. But you know what, though? Finding joy in those kind of moments is what makes you – I think it's a baseball thing.
No, it absolutely is.
There is a baseball – that is a very much a baseball fan thing.
Yeah. Seeing old names, man.
Like rattling off the old names. You and I were talking about the old names, and that's very much a baseball thing.
They showed them at their golf outing, Amari Telemaco shanking one. I was in on this video. I loved it.
We also saw a young John Brazier.
Yes, we did.
Which was hilarious.
Much younger John.
You're like,
much younger Johnny Brazier.
You're like, look at a young John Brazier now retiring.
Yes, because he wanted to work in Clearwater one more time.
Yeah, big.
Speaking of working at Clearwater, joining us now here on Kincade and Salciunas, he covers the Phillies for the Inquirer. We love his work, and he had a great piece on Zack Wheeler yesterday, our man Scott Lauber. Scott, good morning. How are we today?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're doing great. As soon as I saw your article yesterday, I shot you a text, and sorry that it happened during the game. But you had a chance to talk to Zack Wheeler, so please, if you can, give us an update on Zack Wheeler, where he is at currently, and, of course, this entire journey from when his season ended last year.
Yeah, he's still in the long toss catch phase of the throwing program. So he's been out to about 120 feet, and Rob Thompson mentioned yesterday afternoon that he's going to be up on a mound here pretty soon. They've been pretty guarded about putting out timelines for Wheeler because, you know, as soon as you say it's going to be Monday and it happens Tuesday, everyone says, well, what happened? What went wrong? And oftentimes nothing happens. So, you know, whether it's when he's going to throw off a mound or when he's going to pitch in a game or when he's going to come back, you know, they've kind of avoided putting the timelines on it. But I would tell you from everything I've heard and from people I've talked to and from talking to Zack, I mean, it sounds to me like it's going to be closer to May 1st than it is to June 1st because, you know, and maybe it's a little earlier than that, but than May 1st. But, like, you know, he's hitting all his checkpoints. So, I'll be honest, guys, what made me want to write that story was, you know, Zack talked to a group of us when he showed up the first day, and I was in Washington that weekend in August. I was one of two Philly reporters who was there for those games, and, you know, the night he got hurt, so I'd had a long conversation with him the day before for a story I was writing, and then he pitched on that Friday night, and if you remember that game, that was the game where Joan Duran got hit on the foot and, you know, went off the field on a cart. And so a lot of the conversation after that game in the clubhouse was, you know, how's Duran? He was going for x-rays. Did he break his foot? What's going on? And I remember talking to Zack, and if you know anything about Zack Wheeler, like when Zack Wheeler's not happy with a start or with anything, really, he doesn't hide it. You know, he's not one to say, yeah, that was great, and he really feels bad about it. And I was struck by how happy he was with that start. It was a 5-inning start. I think he gave up 2 runs. It was kind of, it was fine. It wasn't great, but he was like, yeah, no, I felt good. His velocity had been down the previous start. It was a little bit back to closer to normal. He was excited about that. So I remember thinking like, oh, Zack really feels good about this. And then the following day, the Saturday, is when, they reveal the news about the examination in Washington and the blood clot and all that. And we didn't see Zack again really at all, other than coming out on the first baseline for game one of the playoffs and tipping his hat. He was not around really at all. So it was the first opportunity I had to sort of sit down with him and say, like, okay, like, take me through that weekend. How did that happen? And he did in great detail. And then, sort of the process that followed. And what I thought was really funny about the whole thing, I guess, is, he's going through like, okay, so, they remove the blood clot, and then I'm on blood thinners for 5 weeks. And then I have the second surgery, and they take out a rib, and they move this around, and they move that around. And he's going through in detail, like, this really serious sounding procedure that he had. And then he says, oh, it really wasn't a big deal, though. And he's all matter of fact about it. And, like, we're talking about, like, is Zack Wheeler going to come back as Zack Wheeler? And he's like, why wouldn't I? He's sort of very nonchalant about this whole thing. But there was really not much to be nonchalant about because it was a pretty serious situation.
Scott, he's already said that he was going to retire after the 2027 season when he signed his new contract. Obviously, 2027 could be a lockout year. How much pressure do you think he feels to make sure the 2026 is a big one for him?
Yeah, I think he feels, I don't know, pressure. I think certainly urgency, and I did say, I said, like, are you still, you had October taken away from you last year. Who knows what 2027 is going to bring or not? Are you still intent on calling it quits after 27? And he said, yeah, but, he also said, look, you never say never. And I would imagine that if they lost the season next year, that he might decide, and depending on how he pitches this year, he might decide, I'm not satisfied, I want to keep going. But his contract does run out after 2027. He didn't sign that contract with the intention of signing another one. I remember talking to his agent the day he signed it, and his agent said, I asked him that too, like, because here he is at the sort of peak of his powers at that point, a Cy Young candidate every year. And he said, really, you're not going to do this again after he'll only be 37. These days, guys pitch into their 40s, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, et cetera. And he's like, Zack said no. So, if you know Wheeler, he's kind of a little bit of a different cat. And I think that that was in his head for sure. But of course, circumstances change. So let's say he comes back this year and he's himself and they fall short of the World Series and then they lose next year. I could see him deciding to do it again, but right now that's not on his mind.
The Inquirer's Scott Lauber joins us here on Kincade and Salciunas. Had a great piece on Zack Wheeler. Scott, when we talk about Zack Wheeler, I feel like the sense from Phillies fans is just he'll be fine. And I think that's more hopeful because we want him to be fine. Do the Phillies have that sense too? Do they have any concern in the back of their mind that what if he doesn't return to the Zack Wheeler we know?
Yeah, I think they don't know. Thoracic outlet is different from Tommy John in that it's not as common and it's a little bit of a different rehab. It's funny. Zack Wheeler had a terrible experience coming back from Tommy John 10 years ago when he was a young pitcher with the Mets. He had setbacks. He ended up missing 2 full years. I think he ended up having a second procedure, not a second full-blown Tommy John, but there was something that had to be done where they had to go back in. So, I said to him, like, in some level, is this more unsettling than that? Because, Tommy John is still like 12 to 18 months. And at a certain point, you hit this marker and that marker. And then TOS is different because fewer guys have it and the return tends to not be as straightforward. And he said, no, I think compared to Tommy John, this is easier because all they did was take out a rib. Tommy John, they reattached the ligament and you hope it holds and there's some trepidation there. But look, just the fact that fewer guys go through this procedure and come back on the other side as the same pitcher, and he's doing it at age 35. Look, Bryce Harper said it himself the other day. He said, we have no idea what we're going to get from Zack. Everything sounds positive, and like I said, he's hitting all his check marks, but you don't know until you see it, and there's less certainty about how you come back from this. I don't, I understand why Wheeler thinks that this is not as bad as coming back from Tommy John, because his Tommy John experience was terrible. But, he wound up coming back from Tommy John, and he was 10 years younger then. And so, sure, I mean, I think that there's, in the back of their minds, there's definitely that, well, what if he's not Zack Wheeler? And, what if he's 70% of that guy? What if he's 50% of that guy? What if he's, it's still going to be a good pitcher, but he might not be the most dominant pitcher in the sport, which I think you could have made an argument he was that before he got hurt. So, definitely. And that's why they need, Andrew Painter to come up and be a real guy for them in the rotation here from the start of the season. He doesn't have to be, a 20-game winner or a Cy Young winner, not yet at least, but he does have to be a competent and quality major league pitcher. And if they can get that, then that'll help them withstand any sort of diminished Zack Wheeler, at least at the beginning.
Scott, as somebody who eyeballs this team on a daily basis for many years, do you have more questions about how well and how stout this offensive lineup is, or this starting pitching is?
The lineup, I think. And it's funny to say that because, for years and years it was Wheeler and Nola, and they were sort of the pillars of that rotation. And now it's, there are questions about Wheeler, how will he come back from the surgery, and Nola, how will he come back from his worst season as a major leaguer. But you still have Sanchez and Luzardo and, Painter, and Taijuan Walker is a major league pitcher, even though, it hasn't been great for him here with the Phillies, but he's still a guy who's been around a long time. You can hand the ball to him and have a reasonable expectation that he will at least keep you in a game some of the time. But I think that lineup really from after the top three, however they're ordered, Turner, Schwarber, Harper, there's kind of a drop-off to me. And look, I think the tell was that they tried to get Bo Bichette, so they knew that they were a right-handed hitter short of being comfortable with their lineup. They didn't get Bichette. They brought back JT Realmuto, which has other benefits for sure, what he does behind the plate, what he does with the pitching staff. And that's another factor to throw into this. He's back here, which means that, he's working with these pitchers again. And I think I still feel good about the rotation. I think I still have some questions about where they go after the top three in their lineup to get some real middle-of-the-order production.
Scott, we appreciate the time. I hope you're enjoying the weather down in Clearwater. Keep up the great work. Love reading your work every time we have you on. And before you know it, it'll be opening day. Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Sure, guys. Anytime.
Scott Lubber from The Inquirer. Look, a couple of our comments on YouTube. Greg just chimes in. I have full confidence in Wheeler. I don't think he'll skip a beat. I feel like that's what a lot of Phillies fans are saying.
They're not doctors, and that's the only thing is I want to believe the same
absolutely.
thing, but they're not doctors, and knowing the history of coming back from that, guys don't tend to come back exactly the same.
Yeah, it's kind of what the organization's been saying too, though. We've heard a lot of positivity from everybody.
I want to believe in it.
No,
I believe it. That's what I want to believe it.
Now, look, if he's not ace Zack Wheeler, but he's number 2 Zack Wheeler, you still have Christopher Sanchez, right?
Correct. Correct.
You'll take that.
I will absolutely take it, and I'm not going to doubt Zack Wheeler.
Absolutely. All right, coming up next, we have today's headlines. What was it? What was your tease? Something about toilets in Italy?
There's manure on the rise.
Okay. We'll find out
There
next.
usually isn't.
It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. All right, have you ever wanted to go to the NBA Finals? I would like to do that sometime in my life in Philadelphia. Well, now's your chance, courtesy of FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge, because FanDuel is giving you a profit boost that you can use to predict the future. And, of course, you can go to the NBA Finals wherever they take place. All you got to do is use your profit boost on an NBA future, and you'll be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for 2 wherever it takes place. So the futures bets that you can bet on. Who you think will get to the NBA Finals, win the NBA Finals, who you think will win the Eastern Conference or Western Conference. You could do futures bets as well on season-long awards like the MVP. So many options to choose from. Just use that profit boost, and when you do that, you will be entered for your shot to win an NBA Finals trip for two. So visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. You got to be 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. No purchase necessary. Limit one entry for Profit Boost token. Opt-in required. Must apply Profit Boost token on select market. Restrictions apply. See full terms, including methods of entry at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Spring training's
It is 7:47 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. We have today's headlines with Connor Thomas coming up momentarily. Do you have a story on Alek Manoah?
I don't. I saw it.
I thought it wasn't real at first.
Oh, it's real.
And then I found out that it was real. So if you guys don't remember, Alek Manoah was a young phenom in 2022 at the age of 20. Well, 2021, he comes up in the big leagues with the Toronto Blue Jays. He makes 20 starts, goes 9-2 with a 3.22 ERA. At 23 years old, you're like, hell yeah, man. Year two, let's go. Year two, 16-7, 2.24 ERA, was an all-star and came in third for Cy Young voting in American League. So if you're a Blue Jays fan, you're like, oh, my God, this is real. Like, he comes up as a rookie. He's fantastic.
Correct.
He follows it up with another tremendous season, and then 23 happens. And in 2023, he just implodes to the point where it was so bad they sent him to single A. It wasn't even, let's send him down to triple A or double A to get a couple of starts in to try to refresh and regroup. They sent him to single A. Then he gets hurt. 2024, he comes back. He's okay. Makes 5 starts. Goes 1-2 with a 3.70 ERA, but not the same player, right? He's clearly not the same dominant force. Does not pitch a single inning for the Blue Jays last year. He's now a member of the Angels, Johnny.
Okay.
And he was asked about his time in Tampa or in Toronto.
All right, what
because
did he
they
say?
just played in the World Series. Those are all my friends. A lot of those guys I call my brothers. I rooted for them 100%. I wanted them to win it all. Okay? It's fair.
That's a kind thing as a teammate.
I was a very big piece of that process getting to that World Series run.
Okay, I must have slept through that part of it.
I feel bad. Like that's a I hope this guy's all right. Right? He had to get.
Is he nuts?
I guess. I don't know. Like, remember, think about it. He was year 2 of his career. He's third in Cy Young, then completely implodes, falls apart. They have to put him away.
Okay, I have no idea what he's talking about.
How can you say that? I guess because you came up with those guys, maybe? And
you feel like you were a part of the process?
Part of the brotherhood of that team. Maybe he was texting them during it. I don't know.
Like, I don't know.
But, like, that's a...
No.
That's a very interesting...
You can't write yourself into that story if you're him.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
It's
Can't do that.
You know.
But he felt connected to them. That's different.
Sure, and that's a beautiful thing. Like
you
the
could
first,
say,
the
I
first
felt
sentence,
connected. I felt connected to the brothers that I made in that team.
I was a very big part of that process, getting to the World Series.
No, you weren't. No. Wow.
Like if he pitched in the season and got hurt, like Zack Wheeler, let's say the Phillies magically got to the World Series last year, and Zack Wheeler said I was a big part of that run. Well, yeah, at a period of the season you were.
No, Zack Wheeler could have said, if Zack Wheeler even was mediocre last year, he could have said, I'm a big part of the Phillies process.
Because he pitched for
Because
them.
he's been a big part of the Phillies process of everything they've done in this organization for a long time.
When I saw that on social media, I thought it was fake, and it's not.
Wow, that's shocking.
I hope he's okay. All right, it's time now for today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
It's brought to us by Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. Stan Van Gundy might be making a quick call to Lundy Law because clearly he was put in an uncomfortable situation multiple times by one Dwight Howard. So the FanDuel TV network had Stan Van Gundy on recently, and they asked him about a rumor that popped up from when he was coaching Dwight Howard. Take a listen.
I got an inside source, and I need you to confirm this if it's true or not, that said you used to get pissed at Dwight Howard during your pregame speeches because he would just constantly fart while you were trying to get the guys going. Confirm or deny, Coach?
You know, I would confirm, actually.
I knew it. Playing with Dwight, I knew it was true.
Dwight Howard then also tweeted out yesterday, having some fun with it. Hey, man, if I got to let one rip, I got to let one rip.
Doesn't shock me.
I love it.
Doesn't shock me.
That Magic team was really fun to watch back in the day. Yeah,
yes, they were.
Yeah, Jameer. I mean, Dwight Howard. Let's face it. I know Dwight Howard toward the end was quirky and
quirky,
and you know
that's an interesting word.
I called him Dwight Hackward a lot because he would pick up 3 fouls in 5 seconds with the Sixers. People forget that the Phillies signed Kyle Schwarber. People might forget that Dwight Howard was a Sixer. But that year they went to the NBA Finals. That team was so much fun with him. They had a young J.J. Redick, who I didn't hate yet. Jameer Nelson, Rashard Lewis, who was supposed to be the other LeBron James.
That is the second worst team, though, that I ever saw go to the finals. Maybe. Next to the Sixers.
I don't know. It just, they fit. Like that team
But
fit.
that is
Hedo Turkoglu,
That was a bad.
I love Tito.
That was a
Turkoglu.
bad team to go to the finals.
Michael Petrus.
That was a bad.
I don't know
The
if they were
Frenchman?
bad, but you could definitely say they stink, at least from this Dwight
I think they
Howard
had.
Clark
interesting.
story.
I think they had Marcin Gortat on that. Like I like that.
Good use of words there, Connor.
We also had a very special fan.
You're getting choked up about it.
Yeah, a little bit. We had a very special fan down in spring training at Baycare Ballpark yesterday. Now, not the normal broadcasting crew. So Tom McCarthy out in center field, sitting on the grass. He's got a Coors Banquet in his hand. He'd have himself a day. But unfortunately, he was not free from criticism from even the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies.
T-Mac's got a pretty good spot out there, doesn't
he looks good out there. He's getting some sun. Some of the hitters.
How many hours are you putting
Some of the hitters, though, are complaining. Just a little glare coming off right center field.
That's Topper.
That's a great line by Topper.
Coming
man.
off the dome. Clean
That's
shots.
a great line.
That's a good job, and that is Rob Thompson in a nutshell, though. Very charming.
He's a
very charming man. Very charming.
You can
man.
talk about his decision making
No,
in big games all you want.
Don't get me started
but
on that.
He's a great dude.
He's a charming
Anytime
guy.
I've had the chance to interact with him, he's a great,
Very nice guy.
Very nice.
Yeah, but maybe feeling like he needs to take some shots. Mad about the gold medal game still. Who knows what's going on with Topper?
Maybe that's right. Maybe.
But that was a clean shot. And now on to the toilet paper story. You're going to need a lot of it, probably more than what all of us have combined, because fans of Torino, which is a Serie A team in the top league of Italian soccer, they're upset with ownership right now. And they've decided to take matters into their own hands by backing up a pickup truck full of manure and dumping it at the gates of the team's practice facility because they're unhappy with the ownership.
I love that.
That is incredible.
I love that. We had run the ball signs, and we think that's aggressive.
Well,
Yeah, but that wasn't the whoa. But the run the ball signs were done by fans. This is not the employees doing this. That's interesting.
Yeah, these are the fans saying, "Hey, we need to get rid of this ownership."
No,
now,
these are the fans. Yeah, these are the fans.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
And we thought that. Look, I thought it was horrible when they had the trash can with like Darius Slay's name on it, and then Darius Slay ends up winning a Super Bowl, and for whatever reason, people don't like Darius Slay.
He tried to give him a few reasons.
At least it wasn't pounds of manure.
Yeah.
Don't get any
Pounds of
ideas,
manure is
Eagles
bad.
fans.
Yeah, it's bad.
We did reach the Italian football coach for comment, though, and he said,
We all fertilize.
Nice.
Well, that's it.
Works on many levels there. So, yeah, shout out to Reno. Hopefully you get new ownership and a good cleanup.
Where do you get all that manure?
Sometime soon. Cow
Yes,
farm, I imagine.
Cow farm, I guess.
Yeah, maybe the farmer is a fan. Maybe he's one of them.
Maybe.
For all I know. He's maybe the one that led the charge. All right, good job, Connor.
Led the charge.
All right, coming up next, Andrew DeCecco live from Indianapolis. The Underwear Olympics of the NFL Combine begin today. Who will Andrew DeCecco be keeping a close eye on? We have some offensive linemen that we want to bring up and see his analysis on them. And we got to return something, Johnny. Last year, every week we did the DeCecco deep cut.
Uh-oh.
A player that we don't really know about that the Eagles could target on day 3, which is his holiday. We speak with DeCecco next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
AJ's future at 50-50. I'm Connor Thomas, and with the NFL Combine continuing, news continues to come out from Indianapolis. Now we'll get more news on the prospects starting today because the drills are actually getting going as we made it to Thursday of the Combine week. But we've gotten a bunch of news on A.J. Brown as well. Adam Schefter was talking to us about him yesterday on Kincade and Salciunas, and Jeff McClain on his Uncovering the Birds podcast talked about the potential 50-50 shot that A.J.'s traded.
This is why I think it's very much 50-50. I don't think A.J. is necessarily unhappy in Philadelphia. I mean, he said as much publicly. Now, as I said before, it's like, yeah, but does he want to be here with this quarterback and in this offense?
Only time will tell, so we'll keep you updated on how that situation develops and all the news from the Combine. Andrew DeCecco joins us live from the Combine coming up next. Flyers fell to the Capitals 3-1 last night down in D.C. Unfortunately, the struggles they hit pre-Olympic break continued last night. They'll take on the Rangers in New York tonight at 8 p.m. That game live over on WMMR. Sixers host the Heat at 7. You can hear that game live here on the Fanatic. Phils beat the Tigers 5-3 down in spring training. Otto Kemp went yard in the game, and the Union play their second leg against Defense Force tonight in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They're up 5-0 on aggregate. This update is brought to you by TireRack.com. Rain or shine, drive with confidence on Verdestin tires from Tire Rack. Verdestin tires deliver precision handling, dependable traction, and quiet comfort. Ship fast and free with 2 years of free road hazard protection. Visit TireRack.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
More of Kincade and Salciunas coming your way now.
You think anybody actually says, I want to see their wonderful faces?
Our wives.
Yeah, for sure. My mom just texted me that.
Well, that's really nice. I don't think Christy even falls under that.
Yeah, I don't, your wife wants to see when you get home.
Sometimes. All right, coming up at 8:05, we will be joined by our man Andrew DeCecco live from Indianapolis as the NFL Combine begins today. They've been in Indy, except for Adam Schefter. Do we know? Did he ever text you? Did
He's
he make
currently walking? He told me.
Walking.
I'm kidding.
He's there. No, he's there. He did make it.
Did he make it? All right. Obviously, teams and most media members got there earlier in the week, but the actual workouts begin today. Defensive linemen, linebackers, and place kickers.
Oh, good. I hope they're paying attention
today. Do we see
today.
Jake Elliott's potential replacement, even though Howie Roseman made it seem like they have a lot of faith in him still? Tomorrow is D-backs and tight ends, another position that we will be keeping a close eye on with tight ends. And you're starting to see some mock drafts where the Eagles select a tight end in the first round. Saturday is quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs. Quarterbacks, again, if they do draft a quarterback on day 2, something to keep an eye on, as well as wide receivers. And then Sunday's the big day for us. That's offensive linemen. Like, that's the March 1st. If you are somebody that watches the Combine stuff, I don't. That's the day where you're going to lock in because the Eagles need to draft an offensive lineman early this year. Like, it has to happen. There no more putzing around here. Like, no more 5th-round flyers. They need to draft a first-round offensive tackle.
Why do the Flyers take us stray there?
Oh, you're right. Shouldn't have
Why are
said
they
that.
taking us?
Well, because they can't score points, goals.
That's a problem.
They lost yesterday to the Caps 3-1.
They did.
All right, let's check our text line before we get to Andrew. Here's our question, because we're going to ask Andrew also about the quarterback conversation. We're asking you to tell us what your reaction would be if, and there's 2 topics. One that I know has been talked about every single day for weeks now, and I know you're growing tired of it, but I'm curious what your reaction would be if A.J. Brown was indeed traded. Because every time somebody says on social media he's not getting traded, I then ask, well, what if he does? Like, I just want to know how you would react.
How you going to deal with it?
I get crickets. I get crickets every single time. And I'm curious that if the trade does happen, will those people respond and say, damn, I was wrong. I don't need you to apologize. Just say I was wrong. Here's my reaction. Like, I want to know how people will react because if AJ gets traded, it's because AJ wanted to get traded.
Correct.
And if AJ wanted to get traded, does he become public enemy in this town?
No.
Do people get upset with the Eagles?
There's too much good that was done on the field in the first 3 years that I'll never forget. I'll always cheer.
Absolutely.
But I'm done. Like, I'm finished.
I'm not.
I can't do it anymore. I can't do the soap opera anymore with this nonsense. This is they're talking about one player. They even made the point of it yesterday on NFL Live. There are 32 franchises, and we're talking about one player on one team.
Yeah, even
guy.
Even the Crosby front's been relatively quiet.
And as was pointed out, one guy could end all the talk immediately. If one guy said, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to be an Eagle. I do not want to be traded. This is not for me. Do not trade me. I don't want to be an Eagle. If the Eagles want to trade me, that's up to them. This talk would be all finished, but it's not. That's all you need to know.
The other one that we're asking, how would you react if on day 2 of the NFL draft, so it could be the 2nd or 3rd round, the Philadelphia Eagles select quarterback, whoever. How would you react?
It'd be smart.
That was the NFL draft jingle. You couldn't figure that out?
Yeah, we're going to need to get you a little bit of a tuner. I got what you're going for there.
What do we got on the text line on both those topics? We're just asking how you would react. No need to get so upset. What do we got?
This texter says, I think I'd be anxious if we traded AJ. Would need to see the rest of the offseason play out to react, but I'd be very anxious to see the end result on the field. I'd be indifferent to a day 2 quarterback pick. Eagles are known for grooming QBs. I don't see Hurts having Wentz-like insecurities.
There's no way that there is absolutely zero chance that Jalen Hurts would be publicly insecure.
Oh, absolutely.
Or privately would be a little diva and would not be cooperative with trying to train some other quarterback to be successful. He has shown nothing in his entire career but being a great teammate.
Yeah. Remember, Wentz melted when they drafted Jalen Hurts. And I always bring up because his name's going to come up later on in the show. When Malik Willis got drafted by the Titans, Ryan Tannehill was like, my job is not to help him. My job is to keep my job, right? And
by the way,
part of myself understood what he was saying.
By the way, that is the truth. His job first is to be the winning quarterback of the Tennessee Titans.
It just came off poorly the way he said it because you're like, oh, wow. All right, you're not going to help your teammate ultimately, because that's the thing. Ultimately, it is your teammate that if something were to happen to you, not because of poor play, but because of injury, don't you want your team to continue to win?
But that's how Brett Favre was to Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely.
That's how Aaron Rodgers was to Jordan Love. That's how there are other quarterbacks that have done that to their win teams. Tom Brady to Jimmy Garoppolo. Remember, Tom Brady, the greatest teammate of all time. Go read the stories when Jimmy Garoppolo was drafted. Tom Brady was not the greatest teammate to Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
So sometimes quarterbacks act like little bees.
Yep.
When you do that.
You know who's not a little bee?
Who?
Because if I said that, he would kick the crap out of me.
What was that?
Our man Andrew DeCecco.
Oh, there
He's not a little bee. Live from Indianapolis. Andrew, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
We're doing great. I know this is your second favorite day of the year or second favorite week of the year. Your first favorite week of the year is the NFL draft. Your favorite day is day 3. But today we have place kickers, defensive linemen, and linebackers. Curious, Andrew DeCecco, who are you keeping some of your closest attention to today in day 1 of the actual combine?
Well, I got to tell you, I'll be more focused on the podium interviews where we're going to hear from the tight ends, where the Eagles have 3 free agents at the position and defensive backs. I won't be at the workouts today. I actually fly back to Philly later tonight, which a lot of reporters do. But I am really looking forward to interviewing and hearing what a lot of these tight ends have to say, what their strengths are, who they emulate at the next level, because I do believe, guys, that you're going to see the Eagles remake this room, because they're probably going to have to look for players of different qualities. They were too pass-centric in terms of the tight ends and their strengths. I think you also need to add a little bit more balance. I think that's going to be even underscored more this season based off of the expected change in schematics when it comes to the run game.
I was reading some things about Green Bay's passing game where they sometimes like to have their tight ends split out as wide receivers, but they also want to put a premium on having their tight ends be able to block. How do you balance that, Andrew, when you're looking at these prospects?
Yeah, that's a great question. Obviously, in a perfect world, they can do everything. But I think you need to be able to make sure that you're filling out the room with players who maybe don't have the most enticing characteristics, but they are going to be a formidable inline blocker and be able to help you in that regard. I actually just wrote a story about the expected change in the run game and how that's going to affect Saquon Barkley and also the personnel, and I included the tight end room. So I think you have to look at this room. You look at it last year, Dallas Goedert, Grant Calcaterra, and Kylan Granson. Even Dallas Goedert, for as good of a blocker as he was earlier in his career, he saw a dip in his production, and Grant Calcaterra was miscast grossly as a blocker last season, and so was Kylan Granson. So you have to find some balance there and look for players who can offer both. Like I look at a player like Michael Trigg from Baylor, 6'4", 240 pounds. It has developmental qualities as a blocker. So you're looking for players who have that in their sort of bag of tricks, and you can refine that when they get to the next level. And I think in free agency, it wouldn't hurt the Eagles to look at a player whose strength purely is blocking, because that was. You look at the offensive line, and they were injured last year. That's a big part of why their offense wasn't able to produce. Saquon Barkley had a little bit of a hand in that. He shouldered most of the responsibility. And I look at the personnel surrounding them, tight ends. They were not good enough, and this is going to be a year where I think you could see many new faces in that room.
Andrew, who are some of the other tight ends that you are most intrigued by that makes sense for the Eagles, especially if they're using a day 1 potentially or day 2 pick on one of them?
Yeah, Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon would be the name for the audience to familiarize yourselves with, because he could slot maybe right in the middle of the first round, certainly where the Eagles are picking at 23. He is 20 years old. He doesn't turn 21 for another couple months. He's 6'3", 245 pounds. He's chiseled. He can run every route that you need him to run, and he can get vertical and threaten linebackers and safeties. But he also has shown a propensity to hang in there and block, and he has a physical element to his game that I really like. Good after the catch. He reminds me of the modern day tight end where you can move him around formations and really get creative. I think he's going to quickly become a quarterback's security blanket because he can do so many different things, and he's pretty far advanced as a route runner than you would expect maybe a 20-year-old to be. And then another player would be Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt. He's a converted quarterback, only been playing tight end for 3 years, but another really smooth route runner. Doesn't give you as much in terms of the blocking element, but I think that there's developmental qualities there that if you bring him in, the Eagles will be able to teach him the way that they want. Because let's not forget, Ryan Mahaffey, their run game coordinator, is also going to be helming their tight end room. So he'll be able to really hone in on some of those finer details and intricacies that he's expecting from that position so they can better execute the run game as a whole.
I know you've had discussions with other people when you get at these type of events about maybe what Sean Mannion's going to bring to the table and how this offense could look. What have you learned maybe since the last time you spoke with us about what you think the 2026 Eagles offense might look like?
Yeah, I think, John, what I've gathered really in the past week or so, especially being here, it's going to extend beyond the passing game. Everybody focused on the passing game last season, and it left a lot to be desired. But I think you're going to see a noticeable change and a shift philosophically in the running game. And there's going to be players there who are going to be asked to do things that they haven't done before, trying to get players wider, outside zone, stretch plays like Kyle Shanahan, like Sean McVay, and it's going to require a revamp or you're going to have to alter your approach and how you not only look at offensive linemen, but also tight ends, which I mentioned. But I think in terms of the passing game, you're going to see more spacing, more route diversity, and quick decision-making. So the ball's got to come out of your hands quickly, that you have to throw with timing and anticipation. But if everything, it all sounds great in February. If everything comes together like we're hearing right now, you would think the Eagles are going to have the most prolific offense in the NFL. But there's still a lot that has to be determined between now and of course, training camp. They have to piece together the roster, and they have some big decisions to make. And those conversations start right now, right here in Indianapolis. At the top of the list, Jalen Phillips and Dallas Goedert. And, yeah, I mean, it's if you listen to what Howie Roseman had to say, and, I've had conversations out here, they're going to be tough to keep in-house. The Eagles are going to lose some talent this offseason. I know that they're going to make every attempt to try and keep them, but, in free agency, the price always goes up.
Andrew DeCecco from Inside the Birds and 97.5 The Fanatic joins us here on Kincade and Salciunas live from Indianapolis as the NFL Combine begins today. Andrew, two-parter for you. One, would you be shocked if the Eagles selected a quarterback on day 2 of the NFL draft, so second or third round? And for those of you out there wondering why they would do that, can you explain why the Eagles may do that?
Yeah. I might be a little – this is a really weak quarterback class, but if you're talking about someone like maybe a Garrett Nussmeier from LSU, who the Eagles had his father, Doug Nussmeier, is the quarterback's coach, so they're familiar there. Yeah, I can understand that, but this is a pretty weak quarterback class, so to swing for one on day 2 that maybe doesn't have as much developmental upside or it's not so much of a stark contrast from day 2 to day 3 would be a little curious, but – The thought process shouldn't be curious when you look at the Eagles' history. They're dubbed as the quarterback factory for a reason. Howie Roseman has proven that he will leave no stone unturned, meaning you go into the draft and you stay true to what your board said, that's truly the best player, you come away with them. You're getting a cost-effective option who can be a backup for the foreseeable future, cost-controlled, and if they dazzle in their opportunities, if they have to play like a Tanner McKee, well, then you're now looking at potential draft assets that you can then, use to and flip that player and then completely add another one. So it's common practice. It's becoming more common across the NFL, but certainly here in Philadelphia. So it shouldn't be viewed as a slight or anything out of the ordinary, because it's something that Howie Roseman has done to great success. And the Eagles prioritize the backup quarterback position more than most teams in the NFL.
Some of the local beat writers have had their opinion change and swayed, where they now are leaning more towards A.J. Brown will be gone. Has your opinion changed?
Yeah, it has. And it's something that we've had these conversations, John, where
Sure.
I've been on both sides of it. I've swayed based off information that you gather and you learn more about the situation. But being down here in Indianapolis, where the entire NFL world is here, you're privy to different conversations and you have different perspectives. And look, I know that it's not what everybody wants to hear. A.J. Brown's a phenomenal player. The Eagles are a better football team with him on it. But it ultimately depends on what A.J. wants. Does A.J. want to be in Philadelphia? Can he make it work? And is he going to see the volume that he wants? Is he going to be in an offense that he believes best maximizes his ability, where they can win football games, but he can also get his opportunities? And I look, if the right team blows the Eagles away, I don't see a world in which they're going to hang up the phone. But the question that I have is, where do they go from there? There's not an obvious answer or a solution. You can't subtract and think that the offense is going to continue to move on. So it's not going to be an easy decision, but they are going to entertain, and I think that there is a possibility that could happen. And these conversations, guys, they're not going away. You know, they can continue on for a while now. And when you have a player as talented as A.J. Brown and a lot of teams that are in need of a top receiver, yeah, he's going to be a name that you're going to continue to hear until you get to a certain stage of the offseason.
All right, last thing. Can you tell us a little bit about Caleb Lomu, who is a player that we talked about on the air yesterday, offensive tackle out of Utah, because Utah has 2 tackles that are projected to go in the first round, Lomu being the guy that would be more so in the Eagles' territory. Can you talk about him, please?
Yeah, I'd love to. He's a player that had a productive college career, good size. He moves really well. I think that he would be a pretty sound fit for what I'm expecting the Eagles to seek in an offensive lineman, meaning that they have good movement ability. They can move horizontally and get out in space, climb to that second level, because athleticism, at least based off of what we are expecting to see from this new look offense, should be at the top of the priority list. And maybe not players that are in the mold of, a Mekhi Becton, who are more of those road graders and players like that. Good hand usage, and I like the way that I like his physicality. He's someone who I view as a tone setter and could be an impact player day one. Can't play tackle, you can move him at guard. I think he can do that as well.
Andrew, we appreciate the time. Next week, Johnny and I just talked about this before we brought you on. We returned to Checo deep cuts, all right? Where you tell us about the players in the 5th, 6th, 7th round that the Eagles could target that only you know around here.
Oh, yeah, let's do it, man. I already got some in the bank here.
I knew.
Dude, that was coming.
Of course you did. Andrew, have a safe flight back, and we'll talk to you next week.
Take care, buddy.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
There he is, Andrew DeCecco, live from Indy.
I knew he was going to, and opened up the bus door now. Andrew's getting on.
Yeah.
He's getting on the AJ bus. The bus is filling up.
Well,
it's filling up.
People don't believe it still, so we'll see. I just saw something that put me at ease, a little at ease when it comes to my own personal life.
About what?
I don't know why Fanatics tweeted this out. The sporting goods, the clothing company.
Okay.
Like they have a secondary account called Fanatics Collect.
Okay.
No idea why I posted it.
You mean the collectibles where they sell like the memorabilia?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay.
No idea why it popped up on my timeline, but it did. Do you know in 2023,
okay,
German researchers divided 46 clinically depressed individuals into 3 groups. And one of the 3 groups received treatment as usual. Another one completed a cognitive training program. The 3rd group just played Super Mario Odyssey to be exact.
Okay, so Super Mario Odyssey is just
one of the Mario video games.
One of the Mario video games.
The group that played Mario showed a 43% reduction in depressive symptoms compared to the standard psychiatric treatments.
Okay,
alone.
is there something about that game that is because of the Mario game, not being a gamer? I played it with my daughter.
I played it.
But is it a happy? Well, I mean, it's not GTA.
No, it's
It's a happier game.
No, so I mean, do you think that potentially adds to that?
Maybe.
Did that control group also watch Philadelphia sports?
Yeah, probably not. But like Super Mario Odyssey, like you fail in it. Like you do lose. Like it's not like
you lose, sir.
It's not like the easiest game in the world. But I've been playing Mario games my whole life. I played one last night.
Did it make you feel better or feel worse?
I feel better.
Good.
So did the gummy, but like
well, there it is. You can't. Well, that's part of not the test group.
That's cool.
I bet many of the people who were playing it, your age, were on the gummy too. I think that's probably what it is.
Maybe. All right, coming up next. One of our topics today is how you would react if the Eagles drafted a quarterback on day 2. Regardless of how you would react, and we will get more text messages on that at 610-632-0975. All I can say is at least the Eagles aren't in some situations like other NFL teams are. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
I'm going to tell you, if you're ready to pop the question, I know the answer for you. Well, the answer is Benari Jewelers, Exton and Newtown Square. I tell you about them all the time. They are the best. They're the industry leader. One of the reasons why they're the industry leader, they've got the industry-leading 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. That means your natural diamond is never going to lose value when you're ready to upgrade it. Yes, so if you buy a diamond for 10 grand, say, it's going to be worth 11 grand when you go to trade up. So if she wants a different diamond cut or a bigger diamond, you trade it in, you get a 10% upgrade automatically. That means they stand behind their products. That means they want to create a long-term relationship with you. And when you buy that diamond for your lady at Benari Jewelers, you're looking to create that long-term relationship too. You get the connection here? Benari Jewelers is the best. I love them. They have a great, great staff that helps you buy with confidence and without compromise. And they're better than the mega corporate chains. It's better than buying at the mall. And more importantly, you create that relationship where you're going to feel comfortable, confident. It's Benari Jewelers. Go to BenariJewelers.com on the web. Find out more about them. Then visit them. 2 great showrooms, Exton and Newtown Square, and tell them that John Kincade from The Fanatic sent you in.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Not sold on trading AJ. I'm Connor Thomas, and this update is brought to you by Papa John's, introducing new pan pizza from Papa John's. Order a medium 1-topping pan pizza, just $11.99 when you download the Papa John's app or at papajohns.com. Better ingredients, better pizza. That's Papa John's. The NFL Combine's continuing. We get the actual drills starting today, but we've got a lot of news already this week from the NFL descending on Indianapolis. Adam Schefter joined us yesterday, talked to us about the latest on A.J. Brown.
They like him back. They didn't say the shadow of a doubt that he's back. That seems to be the line that they're adopting now. I don't know if that's to raise the sale price, but that's kind of where it's at right now. My sense would be that he's back, but it's certainly not a certainty.
Obviously still a developing situation. You can tell by what Adam Schefter had to say there. We'll keep you updated on that. And all the news from the Combine. Flyers fell to the Capitals 3-1 last night. They'll be back in action in New York, taking on the Rangers tonight at 8 p.m. You can hear that game live on WMMR. Sixers host the Heat at 7 p.m. You can hear that game live here on the Fanatic. Embiid listed as probable for that one. The Phils beat the Tigers 5-3 down in spring training. Otto Kemp a home run in the win. And the Union play their second leg against the Fence Force tonight in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They're up 5-0 on aggregate. This update is also brought to you by TireRack.com. Rain or shine, drive with confidence on Verdestin tires from Tire Rack. Verdestin tires deliver precision handling, dependable traction, and quiet comfort. Ship fast and free with 2 years of free road hazard protection. Visit TireRack.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
9 here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5. The Fanatic during the commercial break. Where we do post-show headlines, that little room, there's a TV in there, and Get Up was talking about the Minnesota Vikings, which like perfect timing in terms of what I wanted to get into this segment. But real quick, as the NBA continues to try to crack down on tanking, finally, Lauri Markkanen, who plays for the Utah Jazz, we've been telling you this story a couple times now. The Jazz had, before the NBA fined them, been playing him for like 3 quarters and then sitting him for the entire fourth quarter. And
Markkanen, by the way,
then the Jazz lose.
Okay with this.
Yeah, he's okay with it, which I find
surprises me as a competitor.
Yeah, because A, competitor, B, like you're putting up numbers, right? Like
I'd be shocked as a competitor that you are just sitting there and going, "Yeah, I'm fine with this."
Yeah.
By the way,
he's got a max contract. And,
yeah, I mean, to me, it tells me all I need to know about Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah, kind of. I'm not going to lie, kind of. But per our buddy Tony Jones, because Tony used to cover the Jazz, so he still has a lot of connection with the Jazz. Lauri Markkanen had a right ankle injury pop up in practice on Wednesday.
Oh, here we go.
According to Tony Jones, the NBA is sending an independent doctor to verify Lauri Markkanen's injury and scheduled MRI. That's good work by the NBA. I can't say that often about Adam Silver.
Wow.
But that is good work by Adam Silver to be like.
So wait a minute now. Okay, no. So now you want the NBA to be tough on a team that's tanking.
Yeah.
You do. Yeah. You, who was a tanking cosplayer.
Yeah, but mine was different.
Why?
The Sixers just had really bad players out there. The Jazz are literally
Stop
like,
it.
Oh, we're winning? Time to take out the best players.
Stop it. Being a loser and having a loser's mentality is a loser's mentality. You embraced it. Don't hate on somebody else for wanting to do the same thing that actually might do it right.
As every single NBA analyst will tell you, John, tanking is the best way for some teams to try to get better.
For some.
We act like the Spurs didn't tank either.
For what? How long did they tank?
Well, and then they got Victor Wembanyama.
For how long did they tank?
And then they tanked
They didn't
another
tank for 4 years. But they tanked for 4 years. What do you mean?
Hang on. The Sixers had actual injuries that prolonged it as well.
They did on purpose. They drafted on purpose, too, to tank.
No.
They drafted injured players and with a strategy of having them rest so they would be bad again. So they would have time to...
Ben Simmons got hurt after being drafted.
No, I understand.
Joel Embiid got hurt a second time after being drafted.
But they knew the one guy wasn't going to even be able to play, and they were fine with that. By the way, I would have maybe done the same thing. I don't know. I would have been scared of Embiid's history.
Yeah, me too.
But I liked the player of Embiid a lot. I would have, the skill set would have intrigued me, but the injury situation would have scared the hell out of me. And it ended up being right.
That's why he fell to 3.
And then, and then the Sixers got him, and we're still here.
Yes, exactly.
All right, so
with nothing to show for it.
Yesterday, my God, I talk about the quarterbacks in the NFL and how much they're getting paid all the time.
It's unbelievable.
Did you see the 2 quarterback-related stories?
Which ones?
Let's start with Malik Willis.
Oh, my gosh.
Did you see what Jordan Schultz said that he could get per year?
Yes.
Connor, did you see it?
I did not.
Take a guess.
Malik Willis?
Malik Willis.
Connor, you're going to croak.
Remember, he was going to be a first-round draft pick, fell, goes to Tennessee, is horrific, goes to Green Bay, and is okay.
Oh, he was pretty good.
$10 million.
But remember, they did not have him dropping back to pass. Malik Willis was very much so let's design an offense where he's going to run a lot. How about $30 million a year? Whew.
Connor, can you believe that?
As either a bridge or a backup.
Either one. That's the thing that got me. Is as a bridge or a backup.
Not even like we know this guy's going to be a star. Now, look, a team could sign him, and then maybe he does. At one point, he was being talked about as a first-round pick when he was doing all the draft workout stuff during the combine. He was at one point. So maybe there's a team that goes, hey, if we sign him for 30.
Once they see him, and then once they get him in-house, they go, oh, my gosh.
Let's sign him for 30, and that would end up being a steal.
Right.
If he ends up being because we're seeing Sam Darnold win Super Bowls, right? Like, you don't need to have a top 5 quarterback in order to win a Super Bowl.
And I imagine it'd be low on the guaranteed money.
It's still 30.
No, he's going to get
30 per.
Oh, my gosh.
That's nuts.
Connor, his guaranteed money, that was still going to be a pretty nice number. It's unbelievable.
Here's another thing. And again, this is why I said going
He said 10, and I looked at him, I gave him the eyeball like, nah.
This is why I said going into the break, even though we're talking about potentially drafting a quarterback on day 2, mainly to be a backup quarterback, we're also saying, hey, we're in a really good spot here with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts might not be your favorite player. We have a lot of people on YouTube every single day that complain about Jalen Hurts. We have texters that complain about Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
There are people nationally that rip Jalen Hurts all the time.
On a daily
Try
basis.
to take away what Jalen Hurts has been able to accomplish because of the players around him. You could also be one of the teams, according to Jordan Schultz, interested in Derek Carr.
This is incredible. Come out of retirement, Derek Carr.
There is a strong belief from Saints quarterback Derek Carr, who is very serious about unretiring and returning to the NFL in 2026.
Did you hear the one team, though, that puzzled me that might do it?
I did not, no.
The Jets.
Well, bad teams are just bad teams.
The thing is, though, is what are you doing it for if you're the Jets?
They should just be relegated. They should just be sent to
like
the
if you're the
CFL.
Jets, just do it. Like
they're up north.
Just be bad. Just be bad.
Up north.
They're already not in New York, right? They're in New Jersey. So why not just put them in Canada? They don't have to actually be in Canada. Let them play in the CFL.
At this point, just be bad.
God.
Like, what are you going to do?
Derek Carr?
I would go, I don't want to be Derek Carr.
Double barrel Winnipeg Jets. It sounds pretty nice.
Yes, why not? Why
I
not?
want to be Derek Carr.
So, again, for those of you who complain about Jalen Hurts, and look, I don't think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But yesterday, we're going to get into this.
What did they say before sliced bread?
I don't know. We're going to get into this in the next segment. The hill that you'll always be on, that you'll never fall off of, the debate that you'll never stop. Connor during post-show headlines was like, that Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. Like, I'm never going to say that he might not be the best, right? You were like, but he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Derek Carr. Like, imagine you're a team that's like, we need Derek Carr. Or we're going to pay Malik Willis $30 million.
Well, if you're saying Derek Carr is the classic guy, though, that would be the bridge. So if you're telling me Derek Carr comes out of retirement to be the bridge for a young quarterback, he reportedly is a great teammate.
Sure.
So if you're talking about him being a bridge, okay.
Then hire him on your coaching staff.
Yeah, you can't find one of those guys that are actually playing.
Yeah,
No, I'm not.
Sign
arguing.
Josh Johnson so he can play for his 16th team in the NFL.
I'm not arguing your point there, guys. I'm just saying to you is that I get what you're saying, but it's like it's unbelievable though when you think about it. Is you need they say the bridge quarterback has to be somebody who is really saying to themselves, I'm coming in and I am absolutely Doug Peterson.
Yeah, right.
Doug's told the stories about with Donovan. He was coming in with Andy, and he was absolutely, I am not here to be the starting quarterback of this team. I'm here to be the bridge. I'm here to be the teacher. I'm here to be the seat warmer. I'm here to do this. Kurt Warner, when he did it for Eli, he was actually too good. And when they took Kurt Warner out, the Giants were still doing well. They took Kurt Warner out, and the Giants were actually doing sort of well. And then they were like, well, we got to put Eli in.
Yeah.
And Kurt Warner was a little butthurt by it.
Sure.
Because he wasn't maybe the best bridge to be there because he was a little too competitive.
Yeah. Derek
that's
Carr.
Incredible.
Derek
That's
Carr,
incredible.
By the way, 22nd all-time in passing yards in the history of the NFL.
I never would have guessed that.
You want to guess how many yards he's thrown for?
No. I never would have guessed that.
41,245 yards.
He gets a lot of people don't give him. I mean, he had a nice career.
Nice career.
Nice career. Yeah.
And then when he went to the Saints, you were like, all right, this could actually be something. Then he was just
No, it was bad.
It wasn't that he was bad. Just he wasn't.
No, it was bad.
He was Derek Carr.
Yeah, he's certainly one of the quarterbacks of all time.
Right. He was Derek Carr.
It was bad.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That's incredible though. How about the thing is though is that there's one team who just needs to not do it. Just say no. The Minnesota Vikings and Aaron Rodgers.
So that's what they were just talking about on Get Up.
They need to just say no.
Like
Aaron Rodgers, who is the freaking opportunist of opportunists in this industry, is looking to glob on to that like that. Just say no. Kevin O'Connell, just say no. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I don't.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
If you're a Vikings fan,
don't be so desperate.
And we know one.
We know a couple.
You know a couple. Your mom and your brother.
Don't be so desperate. Don't sell your soul to this absolute. He is a grifter.
Their defense
of grifters
is so good.
Oh, he's a grifter.
And they put their eggs in the basket of 9, and 9 sucked. And who knows? Maybe he's just young. But the talk that they were saying was, all right, do you get a guy that's going to start over him, or do you get a guy that's going to push him? And Aaron Rodgers is not going there to be a backup.
Aaron Rodgers is not going to teach either.
No, he's not.
He is not a guy who cares about. He does not care about J.J. McCarthy.
Listen, the closest the Vikings have been to a Super Bowl is with a former Packers legend quarterback.
No, don't do it. Don't
go back to the well, Minnesota.
Kevin O'Connell, don't do it. Don't do it.
I'd love to watch that.
Oh, I mean, seriously, I'll have such little respect for Kevin O'Connell if he does that.
See, it could be so much worse, boys.
That's what I'm saying.
It could be. Connor, proves to your point, though, about the people who complain about Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I mean, or just the Eagles in general. We got champagne problems over here, boys.
Yeah,
we do.
Look, I'm not going to tell you that Jalen Hurts is a top 2 quarterback in the National Football
League. No, we're not.
League,
What did we have? 7th last summer.
Yeah, and he'll hover around 10, right? Like he'll always hover around there, depending on how the season played out.
He'll be in there like 7, 8, whatever.
Yeah. However the season plays out is where you'll put Jalen Hurts the next year. But, man, it could be a hell of a lot worse.
You could be dealing with that nonsense. You could be dealing with, guys going into caves to get themselves more attention.
Yeah, man.
He's another one. I mean, he is a
ayahuasca,
nutcase.
Man.
He's such a nutcase.
All right, what do we got on the text line, Connor? 610-632-0975.
Nothing on that quarterback, but plenty on our quarterback and the situation with potentially drafting another one.
What would your reaction be is our topic? Not saying would you do it, just what would your reaction be?
This texter says if we're a Super Bowl ready team and we have a window, then you don't draft a quarterback on day 2. You need too much in other areas. I don't care about my backup as much as those other things. If Hurts goes down, you ain't winning anything anyway.
Yeah, look, they could just hold on to Tanner McKee for another year. Like that's also a possibility. It's just you'll potentially lose him for nothing if he gets a deal somewhere.
The thing is, though, is what the Eagles would say is you can get Tanner McKee's replacement for Tanner McKee.
Right.
And not have to spend anything on it.
Right.
So you trade Tanner McKee.
You have 4 years of another cheap option.
And you draft Tanner McKee, and you don't have to waste any draft capital on him because you've traded Tanner McKee for the draft capital to go draft his replacement.
I mean, there is a possibility
where they
Remember, Cleveland drafted a Pro Bowler in the 5th round at quarterback this past year.
They also drafted Dylan Gabriel. They also signed traded for Kenny Pickett.
I think you've been in the ayahuasca tent.
They signed Joe Flacco.
Where am I lying?
They still had Deshaun Watson. Anybody else want to play quarterback for the Browns?
I'm available.
All right, coming up next, we'll check more of our text line, but also we want to set something up for the entire 9 o'clock hour.
This is going to be fun, too.
I want to have texts lined up when we give our answers, but the topic, there's a reason why we're getting into the topic, and it sort of happened at the end of the show yesterday. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
I'm going to tell you that the important thing is that you live bet on the BetParks app. Because if you're going to bet, you want to bet on the BetParks app. It's the best. The BetParks app has your favorite classic casino games, too. Right there on your phone. You want to play some blackjack, some craps, some roulette, hundreds of online slots like Tiger Jones, Cleopatra, or Cash Eruption. You can do that, too. Plus, betting on all your favorite sports is always good, too. You can bet player performances and more on the BetParks app. You can live bet any game. And new users, how about getting up to $1,000 in casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours? I promise you, go into a regular casino, they're not letting you do that, but the BetParks app does. So whether your team scores or not, there's always other ways to win when you use the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. It's always simple, it's always easy, and even if you come into a game late, last night, came into it a little late. Young and the Restless ran a little late, came in the second period, catching up on the Flyers game, and then placed a wager. I thought the Flyers were going to win. I took a little bit of a loss, but I'll make up for it tonight with the Rangers. Got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Michigan. You're going to love the BetParks app. Should you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
to.
Hey, remember how I always say you're dumb if you draft a running back like early?
Yeah.
Clint Kubiak, who is now the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, of course, was the offensive coordinator of the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. What did the Seahawks do very well before the injury to Zach Charbonnet?
They had two running backs that ran the ball well.
They had two running backs that ran the ball well. Clint Kubiak at the Combine was asked about, how he wants to use Ashton Genty, who everybody was so excited about because he stood tall in the backfield of Boise State.
He is very good.
They played D3 schools and then got to the college championship or got to the college football playoff.
You don't like Genty?
I think he's not drafting him in the top 10.
Well, no, I got that, but you don't like. You seem to be mocking his talent.
Yes, because people fell in love with the idea of him, and all of a sudden he's drafted in the top 10, which I think is stupid.
He's very good.
He's a good player. I think it's stupid to draft him in the top 10.
Well, no, okay.
When you're rebuilding, like the Vegas Raiders were rebuilding. Clint Kubiak wants to have a two-man backfield where they split the carries. So there is a world where Genty, who was supposed to be like a 20-plus touch guy, becomes like a 12 to 13 team touch guy, and you drafted him in the top 10.
Well, he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't.
Tough news for fantasy keeper leagues out there.
Yeah.
Spy tech.
Absolutely. Ashton Genty. Hey, good for him. All right. So give us a text message, and then we are going to set something up that we're going to do for the remainder of the show because it's going to lead to some, I would imagine, some interesting conversation. What do we got on the text line?
All right, so we have a check-in here. This one comes to us from Dre in Mount Laurel, who says, AJ's morale has been in decline, and now his body is too. You can sometimes work around the problems that Father Time presents, but the mentality is what it is. He's just another bad game away from another distraction. Get what you can for him now.
There's a lot of people that feel that way. I don't, but there's a lot of people who feel that way.
He earned it. He earned it by his behavior, his antics. He earned it.
And we'll play it again. We'll play it coming up after our little reset at 9 o'clock. Andrew DeCecco has spent time in Indianapolis this week.
His
boarded
feelings
the bus.
have
Now shifted that he believes A.J. Brown gets traded.
Everybody's jumping on board. There's room.
I just don't want to jump on board.
No, but there's a seat. I've saved a seat for you and Connor.
Thank you.
Are you sitting next to each other?
No, thanks. I'm not.
Because I just want to wait. Because when I opened the door to the bus, nobody locally was on it. When I 100% said he was gone, with no wavering to Connor. There was 100%. Nobody was on it now, but the bus seat's there, so it'll be there for you. You guys, you have seats, so don't worry about it.
You can give it away.
Take as long as you need
You
to
can
make
give
your
the seat
decision.
away. I'll be so upset.
Yeah.
If and when he's traded.
Look, we're all going to be. Nobody's going to be happy.
Oh, there are people that are saying on the text line they will be happy.
Really?
You're
Yes.
done with them.
Look. But nobody is going to be happy that it ended like this. I'm not happy that A.J. Brown created this mess. I'm not happy that A.J. Brown couldn't be happy winning a Super Bowl and his stats weren't good enough to make him happy with getting a ring. I wasn't happy that A.J. Brown couldn't be happy being 4-0 and couldn't wait to get to the locker room to go on his Instagram and start doing his cryptic crap.
Yeah, he didn't wait that long, did he?
No, we were on the bus. We were on the bus coming back
off.
from Ray J. That's soft as hell. And I mean, it's like, no, so I won't.
You
I
hung
don't
out
miss.
with Ray J?
I don't miss that. I'm not going to miss that. But look, AJ Brown, I'm going to be sad to see him go as far as what he gave.
Him there.
He was talented, man.
Speaking of happy, like we legitimately just got this text from Mike in Turnersville. I will read this verbatim.
Okay. All
right.
I will be happy when AJ is finally traded. Word for word, the first sentence.
Wow.
I'm exhausted by the drama
Now
and
look.
talking about it. Let him finish the downside of his career elsewhere.
Okay, I get the mentality of being exhausted by him because he's exhausting. He's exhausting. This is how somebody can be so flat out selfish. I get it. I'm related to somebody like this. That is like this. And it's exhausting. That they self-sabotage. And to me, this is incredible. Like at great moments of joy and happiness, it's never good enough. It's still going to be, I'm going to sabotage.
And that's why this topic is not going away anytime soon.
Oh, it's
people.
no, it's going away soon.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, it's going away
Could
soon.
be post June 1st. We don't know. All right. For the entire 9 o'clock hour, we're going to add another topic that I want everybody involved in this. Text line.
Love it.
If you want to call in, YouTube, we want you to be a part of it. All right. Yesterday, toward the end of the show, we were joking around because the Phillies had their spring training lineup pop up, and Kyle Schwarber was batting leadoff. Now, again,
And you were excited about it.
No, I was not because I hate it. But it's spring training.
No, you read the lineup like you were.
Oh, yeah, because it was baseball.
You were that's what I mean. You were so
Dude,
excited.
You saw me geeking out over a 2004
and
spring
you know
training
what, though?
video.
I love that because I think it's
my favorite sport, man.
But I also think it's a baseball fan thing.
Yeah.
It's a spring thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like it's
especially
spring.
with this freaking weather outside.
Exactly.
The Schwarber leadoff people.
Oh, jeez.
I said that is a hill that I will always die on, that Kyle Schwarber should not be a leadoff hitter. Like, that's just – and I understand that –
Didn't we solve it last year?
I think so, but there are people that will still point to – look, Cole Weintraub. We read his article like 2 weeks ago saying that he should bat leadoff. Dylan McKinnon, during post-show headlines, I asked him straight up, are you still a Schwarber leadoff guy? He said yes.
So they're ignoring the numbers that we saw last year where he had the best year of his career because – all that production that he gets with guys on base is actually, by math, more productive.
Yes. Okay. Yes, there are people.
Then you know what you're doing at that point? You're just saying, I'm going to ignore the facts.
So there are people that will die on the Schwarber batting leadoff hill. I'm on the hill of, I got my cannon set up in the he should not bat leadoff hill, right? That is something that nobody can sway my opinion.
Right.
Nobody.
Okay.
We all have that about something when it comes to sports.
Does it have to be something game-oriented like that? It doesn't have to be something, but it has to be sports-oriented.
Yeah, a sports opinion.
Okay, because I've got a
theory, whatever, that you will never be moved off.
Oh, okay, that's great. Yeah, sure.
And I brought one up because you had the tummy troubles yesterday. So Connor and I did a post-show headlines yesterday.
We appreciate that, Connor.
And I said one that I can't wait for you to react to it because I know you're just not going to like it, and I don't care because it's the hill that I will forever die on.
I'm going to write it down. Predicting it, and I swear to you, I did not watch post-show headlines yesterday.
Why would you?
I would. I love it.
So, what is the hill that you will be willing to die on? The opinion that you've had forever, you just had it, whatever, you're never going to be swayed. We are all blockheads sometimes when it comes to sports. Whether we're right or wrong, we bury our feet in the sand and then we pour concrete on top. Let's get answers on that throughout the rest of the show because it could then lead to debate throughout the rest of the show. Because I might agree with you. John might agree with you. I might disagree with you. We might disagree with each other. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Workouts begin in Indy. I'm Connor Thomas, and the NFL Combine week has continued, and we're actually getting to the Combine itself. But we've gotten a lot of news over the past couple of days waiting for the workouts to begin as the NFL world has descended on Indianapolis, including hearing from Adam Schefter on his latest thoughts on A.J. Brown. Jeff McClain on his Uncovering the Birds podcast talked about where he believes the percentage chances are of A.J. being traded.
This is why I think it's very much 50-50. I don't think A.J. is necessarily unhappy in Philadelphia. I mean, he said as much publicly. Now, as I said before, it's like, yeah, but does he want to be here with this quarterback and in this offense?
And that's a fair question, and it seems like it's still very much a coin flip from a lot of folks as to whether or not A.J. will be moved by the Birds this offseason. Only time will tell on how the situation develops. Also, we'll take some time to look at what happens in the Combine as far as the players working out. That'll be a big point of information over the next couple of days. The Flyers fell to the Capitals 3-1 last night down in D.C. in what could have been a big win standing-wise. Unfortunately, the struggles they hit pre-Olympic break continued last night. They'll take on the Rangers in New York tonight at 8 p.m. You'll hear that game live over on WMMR. Sixers host the Heat at 7 p.m. That game live here on the Fanatic. Joel Embiid listed as probable. Phils beat the Tigers 5-3. Otto Kemp went yard in the win, and the Union played their second leg against Defense Force tonight in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, up 5-0 on aggregate. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
of you out there that are probably tired of the A.J. Brown. Because the Eagles will do their due diligence and try to get the best package possible. And I would imagine if they do get a trade done, I think it would happen before the draft. Ray was telling us that somebody said to them, it was one of the guests that they've had, that they wouldn't be surprised that it carried into the summer.
If you're getting rid of A.J. Brown, you don't want to miss out on this year's draft, because this year's draft is better than next year's draft if you're looking to restock at wide receiver.
If
right?
the news breaks during the show today, or if you're on your island retreat,
you're going to have to text
just like
me.
you got Saquon Barkley news while you were on an island.
I'm so ready for this to happen. And by the way, I'm completely prepared for it to happen because I've been the one saying it all along. It's happening. I never doubted that it was going to happen. I believe it's happening. It's just a matter of time. It's going to happen. And I believe the Eagles want it to happen. I think they want it to happen.
I think the Eagles want to trade him?
Not because they want to lose his talent, but I think they're freaking exhausted. And for good reason. They're exhausted by the fact that we have 32 franchises in the NFL, and we're talking about one player on one team in the entire NFL.
Now back to the show.
All right, so that's some of what we got into earlier today. We asked you what your reaction would be if A.J. Brown were to be traded. What your reaction would be if the Eagles drafted a quarterback in day 2 of the NFL draft. Not whether or not you do it, not whether or not you want to do it.
Yeah,
just
totally different question.
What your reaction would be, because I understand that a lot of you get angry that we even talk about A.J. Brown being potentially traded, even though it's the number one talking point across all league circles, especially with what's going on at the Combine. Speaking of the Combine, Andrew DeCecco joined us earlier today. Andrew DeCecco was at one point hesitant that A.J. Brown would be traded. He has spent time, probably having a few cocktails, talking to a few people in the know. This was Andrew DeCecco when you asked him what his feelings are toward potentially A.J. Brown being traded after spending time with these people.
Yeah, it has. It's something that we've had these conversations where
Sure.
I've been on both sides of it. I've swayed based off information that you gather and you learn more about the situation. But being down here in Indianapolis where the entire NFL world is here, you're privy to different conversations and you have different perspectives. And I know that it's not what everybody wants to hear. A.J. Brown's a phenomenal player. The Eagles are a better football team with him on it. But it ultimately depends on what A.J. wants. Does A.J. want to be in Philadelphia? Can he make it work? And is he going to see the volume that he wants? Is he going to be in an offense that he believes best maximizes his ability, where they can win football games, but he can also get his opportunities? And look, if the right team blows the Eagles away, I don't see a world in which they're going to hang up the phone. But the question that I have is, where do they go from there? There's not an obvious answer or a solution. You can't subtract and think that the offense is going to continue to move on. So it's not going to be an easy decision, but they are going to entertain. And I think that there is a possibility that could happen. And these conversations, guys, they're not going away. They can continue on for a while now. And when you have a player as talented as A.J. Brown and a lot of teams that are in need of a top receiver, yeah, he's going to be a name that you're going to continue to hear until you get to a certain stage of the offseason.
So if you're tired of it, well, buckle up.
Well, it might just be another week. It could just be another week.
Right, because it could be before
the league year begins.
I want them to do it before the draft, if they are going to do it, because I don't want him traded. But if they're going to do it, I want it to be so that this draft they benefit from.
Now, it's a much bigger cap hit if you do it this early.
But it's the much bigger cap hit for this year, but it is the ripping off the Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Because then you're done with it after this year.
Kind of like you did with Wentz. Like you could do it. And
Correct. It helps you, by the way. It greatly helps you, Connor. The one thing that's a good part is it hampers you a bit this year, but it's great for your long-term signing of defensive players.
Right.
Because it frees up when the money starts to hit for the 27, 28, 29 caps. It helps you big time.
Yeah.
So you got to look at it that way.
You're going to take a hit either way.
Yes. It's just a matter of when you take the hit. But Connor's point is correct. It's a short-term kick in the privates if you decide to do it this year.
Unless you don't trade him, and then you don't take a hit.
They're trading him.
All right. The other thing we want to do for the remainder of the show today. The sports
What brought this
hill.
on, by the way? To explain
The
this when you're
Schwarber
setting
thing.
it up.
If you missed it last segment, we talked about it. Just toward the end of the show yesterday, Kyle Schwarber was batting leadoff. Because in spring training, if you bat leadoff, that means you bat and you can get pulled from the game right away, right?
Correct.
Like that's why they do it. But Kyle Schwarber was at one point a leadoff hitter for the Phillies, and I hated it. Hated it then. Hated it before. It's part of the reason why I hate Joe Madden, because Joe Madden created this nonsense. Because, well, if you bat first, you get more chances to bat. All right. You also get more chances to bat with nobody on base because forever in baseball, the 8 and 9 hole hitters are not normally getting on base as much as the top of the order guys. I don't think I'm coming up with some hot take there. You know, there's more of a chance that Kyle Schwarber bats with Trey Turner on base than there is with Johan Rojas, which is what he was doing back in the day. So I was always anti-Kyle Schwarber leadoff. I think I ended up winning that argument, but people still feel that way.
No. What do you mean you think you won the argument?
Well, the Phillies didn't go as far as they did when they went to the World Series.
No, you won the argument. You absolutely won the argument because
they didn't go as far.
They didn't. It wasn't because of that they didn't go as far. You won that argument.
All right. You think you know what mine is? Go ahead.
That's on. I think I know what it is.
You
Connor.
wrote it down.
I wrote it down, and I gave it to Connor in the other room.
All right, Connor.
Andrew, you say it first, and then I will read this.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, you want me to say it first?
Yeah.
All right.
And I swear, I did not look at anything. I just know my partner. I listen to you, and I think when you read my answer later, I think you will say, okay, that's a good one. And I agree with John. It's just not the one. I think you will find me that I did find a good one.
And somebody on our YouTube chat is kind of in the same boat as me with a player being named specifically.
Oh, so it's not a player. Then I'm wrong.
I'll get there.
Okay.
I believe that if the 2019 offseason for the Philadelphia 76ers did not completely blow up in their face, thanks to Elton Brand and company, that the Philadelphia 76ers could have won with a guy that didn't shoot a basketball. And I mean win, like big picture win. And that's Ben Simmons. I hate that man on a personal level at this point because of some alleged stuff. But as much as I still don't like Ben Simmons today, I still believe that if they did not try to build a team with Josh Richardson and Al Horford to go alongside a guy that already did not shoot well in Ben Simmons, and J.J. Redick did come back, part of the reason why I hate him, and they found a stretch four that fit better than Al Horford, that the Philadelphia, and who knows about the Tobias Jimmy Butler thing, that's a whole other story.
There's a lot of what ifs.
But if the offseason went the way they should have built it, with a point guard that could not shoot the basketball, and they put shooters around him, because look at the year when they had shooters around him in J.J. Redick and James Butler. My name's Jimmy, man. They were a Kawhi quadruple doink away, and then if they win in overtime, we forget that. If they went into overtime from getting out of the second round for the first time in at that point, 18 years. I think they could have won with Ben Simmons before he went nuts after they had the horrible offseason that they had. That's the hill that I will always die on because there are people that forget that he was a 3-time All-Star and they won a lot of games with him.
Okay, mine's not that specific, but Connor, I want you to read it.
Okay, the process was brilliant strategy, but just poorly executed.
That was what I said.
I do feel that way.
So you do agree that like that's one that I thought that
I wouldn't say brilliant. I would say it's what a lot of teams do, and
that's
the Sixers did not hit the way that the Thunder hit, the way that the Spurs hit.
That's what I thought your hill to die on was. So you give me credit like I was like you thought that was a good theory of mine to pick that one.
Look,
and by the way,
from that process, I just talked about one of the guys that you got from it,
right?
Ben Simmons.
So I was sort of on the track. It didn't, but it wasn't. It wasn't the one.
But like
Same church, wrong pew.
That
Same
team,
church, wrong pew.
The fall off. I think about this. You had Tobias Harris, who's not an assassin scorer. Al Horford, who didn't fit with Joel Embiid. Right, Al Horford was a tremendous player in the end. He still plays, but tremendous player for what his role is. It did not work with Embiid. And Josh Richardson, who is your 2 guard that could not shoot. So now you have 2 guys in your backcourt that can't shoot.
What did you say? It was a social media generation. What did you say the day that they got Al Horford?
I was okay with it because of the Embiid injuries.
And once again, that's one of the ones like the Chip Kelly thing. I'm very glad to be on the right side of history. I warned my friends as a Sixers fan. I had watched all of Al's career
with the Hawks.
And I said, horrible.
I like the idea of it when Embiid would be out because we knew that was going to happen. That you had out it wasn't Paul Reed. It wasn't Norvell Pell.
No,
it wasn't guys. It was you had a legitimate player to back him up, but
it was not. Yeah, I was from the day it happened. I went no.
I mean, think about that team that I'm talking about, the team that could not shoot when you already had a guard that could not shoot. That was when I Need to Grow Obama came out. That was Brett Brown forcing Furkan Korkmaz in the lineup, hoping that he would turn into something.
Yeah.
Like, that's how bad that offseason was.
The weird thing is that when you talk about that and we talk about that era, and you guys lived it a lot closer day to day, I was reading the Daily News online, a lot of it, and then watching, 770 miles south. I didn't feel the same pain. I felt the pain. I just didn't feel it the same way because I wasn't living it 24/7. But I really could connect some of the dots and say, okay, I sort of get what you think, but dude, it just isn't. It's just not working.
It fell apart.
It's just not working.
And then that was it. Then it went all downhill after that.
It's just not working.
I'm about to cry. I'm getting emotional about it.
It's okay, buddy.
All right, John. What's the hill that you'll always?
Okay, now mine is not based on mine's not based on a Philly thing, but it's based on one of the most famous stories of all time.
Okay.
And it's based on one of the most famous sports conspiracy theories of all time. It's that there is a great conspiracy theory that I will forever believe is fact. Michael Jordan was suspended by the NBA for gambling.
Sure.
And he had to leave the NBA for gambling, and he did not retire from the NBA. And that is why Michael Jordan left the NBA in the middle of his career, the greatest competitor of all time.
Right.
And then a couple months later, but my lifelong dream was always to play baseball, professional baseball, which, by the way, you cannot find documented, like anywhere. Whereas lifelong dream was to play professional baseball. Then became, wait a minute, we got to keep the Nike contract alive somehow.
Right.
While the suspension's going on. Always that's the conspiracy theory of Michael being suspended from the NBA. Forever.
John,
I will believe it,
I don't know.
advocate it, and believe it.
Because in 90-91, he won MVP. 91-92, he won MVP. 92-93, he finished third in MVP. So he was washed. He was clearly...
He was washed. Well, then what did he do when he came back?
He had the blood spinning probably or something. The Bryce Harper
exactly.
treatment.
Wait a minute. Do you know that year he came back?
Yes.
When he played 17 games.
Which, by the way, you guys can't even imagine. You guys can't imagine in the era of much smaller television stations and everything how huge this story was.
Yeah.
And the press conference when he reportedly retired from sports, when he was retiring, he was so angry that day. Was so mad. And the NBA had a gambling investigation into him that they never reopened.
Just disappeared.
When he came back to the NBA, they never reopened the gambling investigation.
You know he finished 11th in MVP voting that year?
17 games.
17 games.
Well, I think that
when
was
people talk about the Church of Jordan, that's it right there. Like, he came back. Let me vote him for MVP.
Well, let's just say it was the biggest story you could ever imagine.
All right, Connor, what do you got? And then we have people that have already texted in, which thank you because you guys did what I asked you to do. I appreciate that.
We appreciate
it. What do you got?
Yeah, so, I mean, for me, it's always going to be the Jalen Hurts is good thing. We talked about it on post-show headlines, but I'll just reiterate here. Like, he's a good quarterback. You will never be able to tell me otherwise. The guy wins. The guy performs on the biggest stage. I'm not telling you he's Lamar, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes.
No, he has Super Bowl rings, so he can't be them.
Right. But, like, when he has that bad game in Los Angeles this past year against the Chargers and has the 5 turnovers, and everyone's like, this guy stinks. He's always stunk. He's never going to. I don't know what your guys' eyes are seeing that mine are not, but Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback and always will be.
That was by far the worst game of his career, and nothing really comes close.
I still can't believe it.
Yeah, it was a bad game, but that doesn't mean he also stinks.
That game was incredibly bad.
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah, sure. I can show you those games from Manning and Brady and Breeze and all of these guys.
Yeah, he's not them, but that's okay.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, one game, all of a sudden he stinks, and too many people do that with him.
All right. What have people been texting in? I appreciate people being a part of this already.
All right, so we have a check-in here. This texter says the hill I'll die on is the prevent defense is literally the worst defensive strategy to utilize when trying to win a football game.
I love it because here's the deal. It works.
Yeah, it works.
It's not cosmetically pleasing.
It's annoying as hell to watch, but it does work.
The Eagles have won. I don't think Vic Fangio screams prevent defense.
But he certainly plays it.
The Eagles have won both of their Super Bowls with a prevent defense.
Yes, they have.
Think about that. Look, I love the Eagles back in the early 2000s, but like the all-out blitz got you to NFC Championship games. Absolutely did. But your 2 Super Bowls, the 2 times they were able to hoist the Lombardi Trophy was Jim Schwartz's prevent defense and Vic Fangio's prevent defense. Now, Vic Fangio's front 4 was so good that that they were just getting home.
And Schwartz's.
And Schwartz's front 4 was just getting home, that they didn't have to.
They got relentless pressure with 4.
Yeah, they didn't have to blitz all that much. Literally, Vic Fangio didn't blitz until the Super Bowl. He was like, let me blitz Patrick Mahomes and just make him uncomfortable. I get what the text is saying because it is not cosmetically pleasing.
No, it's ugly as hell.
But it wins them games.
It does.
All right, what else we got?
All right, we also have a check, and this is a more recent one here. We'll see if you guys agree with this one. This texter says, I have a new one. I will not be swayed that Tocchet, Briere, and Jones are not the answer for the Flyers rebuilding. No way.
So you believe that they are the answer?
Believe that they aren't.
He believes that they aren't. Right now, I wish I could tell you that they are. I wish I could tell you that that guy's wrong. I can't. I can't tell you that his opinion's wrong. I wish that I could tell you that they've given me data to say, yeah, they're doing this spectacular job because they've had some swings and misses here. I'm wishing them nothing but success, but there's been some misses here. So I hope that that person is very wrong.
I know we're gonna boo him forever, but the Gauthier thing, that sucks.
Well, a lot of that's on Gauthier himself,
Absolutely.
but I get you. I know what you're saying.
That sucks. Like that could be a stain.
Oh no, it is a stain.
You know what I mean?
But the thing is, it's a stain. A lot of the stain is his camp.
Sure.
But yeah, it sucks. It sucks. But that I can promise you this: that was never being. Cutter Gauthier was never playing here. There was nothing that Danny Briere was going to do. There was nothing that Keith Jones was going to do that was going to change the outcome of that. It sucks, but he was never playing.
He was just a big Mighty Ducks fan as a kid.
Big. They removed all the urinals in Anaheim. Let's just put it that way.
Did they install bidets?
That's nice.
Know. Probably.
Nice item.
What do we got? What do we got on the? What else do we got on the text line? The hills that you are willing to die on, that you will forever die on. 610-632-0975. YouTube, I want some of your answers as well. What do we got?
I'm on this hill as well as our next texter
What's
here,
that?
who says, I will never, ever believe that the Eagles weren't going to repeat as Super Bowl champions if Alshon does not drop that pass in New Orleans.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It was a divisional playoff game on the road. You would still have had to convert 2 more first down, another first down, and then score a touchdown.
And they would have. And then Sean Peterson, the son of Doug Peterson, would have lost in the NFC Championship game, and then the Eagles would have gotten back to the Super Bowl. Now, I don't know if they would have won. We don't know.
We don't know that.
Tom Brady's revenge.
No shot.
Well, I can tell you
that
was the worst Super Bowl.
Where I left the house I was at. I was at my
Super
buddy's
Bowl.
house. I was like, I'm going home.
God, it was so
There's
bad.
literally no point.
I get your point on that one, but I don't. I don't get.
I feel that way fully.
I have a buddy of mine who texted in, and he says something that I've heard Andrew say many times.
What I say?
That if the quadruple doink doesn't happen, that the Sixers would have won the NBA championship.
I've never said that.
I've heard you say that. You thought they would have won the title.
I've never said that.
I've heard you say that to me.
I said that they could have gone to overtime and beaten the Raptors, and then you would have to have beaten the Bucks, which is not a guarantee. Remember, they got plagued with injuries. The Warriors got plagued with injuries. I've never said that it was a guarantee that they would have won the championship.
That they would have. You don't think they would have won? You've said you don't,
I don't know
think
if they would
would
in overtime. Kawhi Leonard was literally.
I don't think they would have won that.
Kawhi Leonard was the best player in the world.
No, but I think they would have had. I think they would have had a very good chance to win the NBA title.
Sure, but I'm not sitting here saying it would have happened.
He's not saying guarantee. He thinks they would have, but he's not guaranteeing it. My buddy's not saying he guarantees
Kawhi
it
was the best
because I've heard
traveling.
you say that. I've heard you say this.
That it could have happened.
Right.
Sure.
He's saying, he goes, I think they.
Because of all the injuries
he's
that
saying
both
they
the
would,
Bucks and the
he
Warriors
thinks they would have won the title. He's not guaranteeing it. He says he thinks they would have won the title.
I think if that team stuck together, they could have won something. But then,
Oh, my.
Jimmy Butler became Jimmy Butler, and then Ben Simmons, and it was just so much went down.
I mean, it's just that's like a horrible thing.
Yeah.
I do not. I have a buddy of mine who believes that the Eagles should never have gotten rid of Andy Reid.
Still.
Andy Reid would have won a Super Bowl here. I say bullcrap, and I texted back.
It ran its course.
I texted back, and I just said because I've had the argument with him. I'm like bullcrap. He would not have won a Super Bowl.
It ran its course.
It had already. That story was already written here. Andy needed to go, and it worked.
Also, would he have won 2? Because that's where we're at now.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Bar's higher.
All right, coming up next.
And we've been to, 3?
We'll get more of your texts on this. The opinion that you'll never move off of, the hill that you're willing to die on. Speaking of opinions, did a national reporter drop a nugget or just an opinion?
Oh.
That and a hypothetical challenge is making its rounds on social media. Can Connor Thomas do it?
Damn right I can.
It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Combine drills begin. I'm Connor Thomas, and we've made the Thursday of Combine Week, which means players are actually on the field, yes, but we've got a lot of news from the GMs and owners and coaches and everybody meeting with the media out in Indianapolis, including what Adam Schefter had to say, who joined us on Wednesday here on Kincade and Salciunas talking about the A.J. Brown updated trade odds.
They like him back. They didn't say the shadow of a doubt that he's back. That seems to be the line that they're adopting now. I don't know if that's to raise the sale price, but that's kind of where it's at right now. My sense would be that he's back, but it's certainly not a certainty.
We'll keep you updated on any news from the Combine, including the actual workouts. The Flyers fell to the Capitals 3-1 last night down in D.C. They'll take on the Rangers in New York tonight at 8 p.m. That game live over on WMMR. Sixers host the Heat at 7 p.m. You can hear that game live here on the Fanatic. Joel Embiid currently listed as probable. Phillies beat the Tigers 5-3 down in spring training. Otto Kemp with a home run in the win. The Union play their second leg against Defense Force tonight in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They're up 5-0 on aggregate. Should be a nice, comfortable night for your Philadelphia Union. This update is brought to you by TireRack.com. Rain or shine, drive with confidence on Verdestin tires from Tire Rack. Verdestin tires deliver precision handling, dependable traction, and quiet comfort. Shipped fast and free with 2 years of free road hazard protection. Visit TireRack.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
bad. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to Bagster.com.
All right, shout out to our YouTube chat. A couple of hills that they will die on when it comes to sports. Trevor Rice, I agree. Ohtani did gamble, and Major League Baseball covered it up. If you remember when that story came out, John, I turned to you. We were doing the show. I was like, this is going to go away.
You said 48 hours.
And you're like, no, it can't. I was like, trust me, dude.
You said 48 hours, and it was just over that.
The guy that was like on the cover for multiple, like 2 or 3 years in a row, and for the baseball games, baseball viewership was going up. You know, he's the face of the Dodgers. All this, you know, there was no shot in hell that they weren't going to continue the investigation. Clase's been under investigation for 2 years.
If he were to get like banned and they were totally hypothetical, vacate the Dodgers World Series, how do we feel about that here in Philly?
They wouldn't vacate the World Series. It's not like
with the Black Sox.
No, because he didn't cheat in the
they
World
didn't,
Series.
but they didn't win the World Series.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Forget everything I just said.
Yeah. It's not like USC with Reggie Bush.
Not
either.
like that.
No, but I that thing got swept away real quick. Ipe, man, the fall guy.
By the way, is he going to live a good? Any doubt that he's going to live a great life?
Live a great life, man. He's good.
By the way,
Everyone
do you know
needs a good fall guy.
And two, do you know the prison he's in?
He's
here in Pennsylvania.
And it's like a high class.
Yes, he's here in Pennsylvania.
We should go interview him.
Go check out Allenwood.
We know he speaks English.
Go check out Allenwood.
Because he's the interpreter.
He is in a nice, I promise you this, there are listeners that are living in worse situations, listening to our show right now, maybe guys just starting out or people that
aren't in
their
prison.
first apartment that are in worse situations.
Yeah.
He's all right. He's doing all right. He's at Allenwood.
Here's another one, and I know this.
We could go visit him or do a remote if Scott wants us to do a remote.
John Kincade, our man D Flyers is speaking your language here.
What's this one?
That people actually thought Manti Te'o couldn't possibly be naive enough to believe he's getting catfished.
The Manti Te'o story is maybe the stupidest thing I've ever
The
seen.
documentary was tremendous, man. It was great.
So for 3 years on a college campus, the captain of the football team, the big man on campus,
he just wanted to play football, man.
That his girlfriend was a girl that he had never met and never even FaceTimed with. And you believe that story? Then you're the moron.
Maybe he didn't have good internet. He was just focusing on football, John.
You are the moron if you believe the story. If you believe that, then you are just willfully ignorant. That's the dumbest story. We're watching this. We're watching that documentary. My wife knows nothing about football, nothing about it, but she was interested in the story, and she just goes.
It's a great one.
And we were like 20 minutes into it, and she goes, oh, wait a minute now. I know the ending of this story. And I said, no, you don't. And she goes, oh, no, I do. It's just not going to be said that that's the ending of it. And I said, yeah, we know the ending, not the ending.
Oh,
you just won't say it. Oh, no. Is this? I never even FaceTimed her. But she's my girlfriend for 3 years. Give me a freaking break.
She goes to a different school.
Yeah, stupid. But they never FaceTime.
They were far away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Skype wasn't working too well back then.
Ever. It's the stupidest story. That may be the stupidest story ever tried to be peddled to the American public.
Didn't they? Wait. The guy had.
And it was a guy.
Right, no, but the guy had.
Who was doing the voice.
But he had a girl take a photo or something because they.
Oh no, it was a girl who said the photo, but it was that. Well, no, that was the supposed story.
Right.
Yeah, it was a guy who supposedly was doing the voice.
All right, Connor. Before we get back to the text messages, could you do this? There is a hypothetical challenge. The scary thing is hypothetical challenges. Somebody's going to actually try to do it. You have 24 hours. And if you do this, you get $50 million.
$50 million?
You have to run 10 miles. Doesn't have to be all at once.
Oh, gosh.
In a day. You have 20.
In a day?
You have 24 hours.
Okay, that's simple.
You have to run 10 miles, eat 24 tacos, and drink 24 beers.
Light work.
Oh, my gosh. Connor could do that in a second. Wait a minute. That's the dumbest thing ever.
I ate 6 tacos yesterday, and I'm still hungry.
I am related to 20 people who could do that.
I feel like this is relatively
That
easy.
is stupid.
Yeah, that's
stupid.
work.
Connor, you could do that in 12 hours.
I don't know about that.
You know, you're going to pace yourself.
10 miles, you could do in 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
You could you could eat the tacos in 5 hours.
I don't think so.
No?
24 tacos is a lot of tacos.
Here's the thing. Here's the you have to think about this though. You can't drink the beers right after the 10-mile run.
Yes, I can.
No,
Watch
you're
me.
going to dehydrate yourself.
So?
You just ran. No, you're going to have to run the 10 miles.
There's no order that you have to do this,
No, you
right?
can do 2 beers, then drink water, take your time, eat some tacos.
Connor's knocking out, if I know Connor, he's knocking out the run.
Yeah, I mean.
And there's no rule about.
The tacos would be the hardest part.
And there's no rule about you can also drink water, right?
Yeah, but I wouldn't need to.
Yeah.
No, after the run, you need to.
Nah, you get light beer, enough of that's water. Listen, 20 beers is what I call Saturday.
We might have to have you do this. Now, I don't have 50 mil.
If we get a sponsor on it, I'll do it.
I would give you $50.
No, you know that the Beasleys are losing their minds legally right now. That there'd be a legal department would lose.
I would give you $50 if you did this, not 50
No,
mil. Sorry,
I'd match your.
All right, so you get $100.
No, I'll raise you 100.
How many people 610-632-0975 would throw 50 into the pot and see if Connor can?
And I'll get the tacos. I can get.
You buy the tacos and the beers.
No. I got the tacos. The beers will be covered. I'll make sure that that's covered.
I'll buy you running.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
He's all right.
This is no problem.
Oh my!
boys.
This is.
All right.
I bet you we have 50 guys in our listening.
I think we got
audience
to pick a
that could do
summer
this.
day where you do it. You'll take off.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to discuss taco size.
Yeah, it's a good point.
How about
I would say the Orida box that you get.
No. One of our fine people that we, places we like here in town, will supply the tacos. We will find some place will supply. Absolutely, Connor, you could do this.
Tequila's in Center City.
Connor, you could do this. There's no problem. You could do this.
Yeah, the tacos are just going to be a bit of a struggle, but we can do that. 6 tacos.
I've seen you
4
house
different
some
times.
food.
Yeah, we can make it work.
But the thing is, you have 24 hours.
Yeah, we have somebody on our YouTube chat, MNMF15. I literally have a 12-mile run this weekend. Should I just go all in and do the challenge?
Why not?
If you're already doing the 12
day.
miles.
I know you could have. I know that Connor could do that.
I mean, I could do this, yeah.
I have multiple cousins that could do this, and it wouldn't even. I would have no doubt they could do it. That's incredible. That's easy for a lot of people. It wouldn't be easy for me, but it would be easy for other people.
And it's run 10 miles because Tommy John's talking about walking. No, it's run. You got to run the 10 miles.
Yeah, but run doesn't mean anything other than running is you're running.
Yeah.
You're
Same.
just running.
All right, Connor, we're going to do this during
That's fun.
Yeah, give me a summer day off and we'll crush it.
No,
Give me
you
a
don't have to
Friday
give him a day off. It's part of the show.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to take a day off to do it.
Not wasting
It's
4
good
hours
content.
with you jamokes.
It's good. No, it's good content.
No, we'll do check-ins. We'll have somebody
Yes.
following you in a car.
No, we'll do that.
Yeah. All right, what do we got on the text line? The hill that you're willing to die on or that you will forever die on.
I love this one. Love this one from James from Doylestown, who says, die on the hill of, if the Sodfather didn't have anything to do with the playing surface of the first Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl, we would have won.
I got to tell you this. That's that's a great one.
I love it.
That's a great one.
I still hate that guy.
Ed Mangan.
George Toma still remembers.
Ed Mangan was the assistant for this one. A guy that I've known for years, known him for 25 years. He is and think of this corruption. Ed Mangan was the assistant. He's the Braves guy who does their turf. His kids went to school with Liv and everything like that. He was the assistant for that. Ed Mangan hates the Phillies.
Oh.
It's the Eagles.
So we got to hate the Eagles. And, so could that be? Now, that's just good old-fashioned when I say hate.
Yeah.
Like good old-fashioned
Oh, George Toma's literally a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, he's a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, so I'm saying to you is...
That's a great one.
That's a great one. And I say that with a wink, but still.
Yeah,
I
guess
like
what?
that
Next Super Bowl, Big Dom gets 5 minutes in a room with all the players on the other team.
I think that's a fair one.
We'll see how you guys play after
I
that.
think that's fair.
Lead pipe.
All right. Do you have the Diana Rossini audio, or
Yes.
did you not
Oh, my
get
gosh.
that? All right. So
I can't wait for this.
report or opinion. This was Diana Rossini. She was on. I always forget what
Pardon
it's
my
called.
take.
Pardon my take. With
Is she
Big
a
Cat.
reporter is what I'm saying to you.
This was they were talking about AJ Brown because what else is new? And Diana Rossini has been at the forefront of the AJ Brown stuff. By the way, if he does end up getting traded, there's a lot of people that need to apologize to Diana Rossini because she was getting ripped for it. Now, this, however, is a little bit different.
What emoji would AJ Brown use to respond to these cities? New England.
Smiley face.
Oh.
Buffalo.
Smiley face.
Okay.
Washington, D.C.
Thumbs down.
Tennessee Titans.
Poop emoji.
Okay.
It's a good city.
Yeah.
Los
Well, he's been
Angeles.
there before. Which one?
The lightning bolt.
Smiley face.
Smiley face.
Good quarterback.
Okay.
What's the deal with?
By the way, I'm answering these just based on the quarterbacks.
No, we're
And
interviewing
Oh,
AJ
so
Brown
you don't
right
like
now.
Cam Ward? Okay.
and
print
knowing
that.
the wide
Wow.
receiver wants to play with a quarterback that is very good, and you're naming teams that have very good quarterbacks.
Jaden Daniels, you said
Wait.
thumbs down.
Uh-oh.
I don't think Washington would be a place he'd play.
Why's that?
I mean, if the opportunity's there, I'm sure he'll listen, but I don't see him going there.
Okay. She is speaking right there. Any question that she's speaking directly as I've spoken to A.J. Brown and I'm speaking on his behalf? She answers directly and says, from speaking to the player, I know what quarterbacks he likes, wants to play for. She says it.
There was also another clip that wasn't in there about Hurts.
But what I'm saying,
she was basically leading people to water, saying that
it's
Hurts may be
Hurts.
part of the reason why.
But I'm saying to you is, can I ask you this? Diana Rossini, and I'm asking the question. Is Diana Rossini a journalist?
I would say she is, yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Can you imagine DeCecco, Berman, McClain, Schefter, any other credible journalist doing that interview?
Yeah. They have Schefter on often.
So they're going to go poop emoji,
Yeah.
smile emoji. No.
I think it's that.
He's not.
I think it's also
understand,
that show.
but he's not going to speak on behalf of. She's speaking on behalf of a player, and she's doing poop emoji. This stuff. At some point, do you want to be a journalist or do you want to be a mouthpiece? Do you want to be a journalist or do you want to be an entertainer? The thing is, if she wants to be an entertainer, by the way, that show is entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's very entertaining. And I find their content to be very creative and interesting.
Absolutely.
But Diana Rossini is supposed to be a journalist, and that is what she always tries to defend. I am a journalist. That is absolutely out of bounds journalist. That's not journalist.
Why?
It's not journalistic behavior, Connor. That is not how a
Because
journalist.
she said poop emoji?
No, that is not how a journalist would ever do an interview. That's not how a journalist would conduct it.
I mean, man,
first of all, she's doing I'm being a mouthpiece for A.J. Brown. So that right there, she's not being a journalist. She's being a spokesperson for A.J. Brown. From speaking to the.
How's that different than per sources?
Is it because she's speaking directly for them? She is speaking directly for them and going, "Oh, he wants to go to which LA does he want to go to?" Are you being a puppet? Are you being a mouthpiece? Or are you being a journalist?
Bro, the rules you have.
No, Connor, it's not the rules I have. It's what journalism is. Is she a journalist?
These are your rules for journalism.
No, it isn't. That's not honey. There are rules of journalists, Connor. There are rules of journalism.
Now, D. Flyers chimes in.
That's journalism.
That she is an insider, not a reporter.
She claims to be a journalist. She has argued.
Her bio says senior NFL insider.
I understand, but she claims to be she's argued about herself being a journalist. If she wants to be an entertainer, that's great. If she wants to be like us, we're not journalists in this job. We're
Right.
not.
You could be,
my,
you could be
my,
both.
my degree says I am.
I don't think you can be both. I don't think you can be both. It's not that. It's not a job you can be both.
Why don't you call her?
We would not.
Why don't you call her and talk to her
You
about
could
it?
not have Zach Berman on this show and say, Zach, we're going to play a game here. Give us poop emoji.
Hang on.
I
Jimmy
actually kinda
Kepsky
wanna do
does
that.
like stick figure drawings.
He is being a columnist there. That is what a columnist does.
See, now we're into semantics.
No,
That's
that's
ridiculous.
not, wait a minute. That's not semantics, Connor.
Yes, it is.
That is what a columnist does.
Why don't you call Diana and talk to her?
That is
about
what
it?
I would like to. I saw her in the press box earlier this year.
All right, then,
but happy
then
with
ask
things.
her about it.
It's not a poop emoji stuff.
Go talk to her about it. Next
Connor's
time.
like the rules that journalists.
I'm not as offended as you are. I thought you were going to say that she was telling us that Jalen Hurts is the problem because that was kind of one of the clips.
No, what I'm
out.
saying is she a journalist or an entertainer? It's like, pick a lane. I mean, come on now.
I think she's a media member.
Yeah,
there's a difference.
Media is now.
No, media is what we are. We're media members.
Are we talk show hosts or podcast
We're
hosts?
not. We're not podcast.
We
are
a lot of
today's
different
talk
stuff.
show.
Yes, we are, and that involves a lot of different things in 2026.
All right. Man, you get upset over
Connor
some-
with the rules
You
of
get
journalism.
upset over things.
No,
that
it's
I
just, yeah, because there are actual rules to journalism. There are. No matter if you want to acknowledge them or not, there are rules.
I was not offended. I was not offended by Diana Rossini's.
Because you didn't understand the rules of journalism. She says she argued about being a journalist.
I have
earlier
a
this year.
bachelor's degree in journalism. I know.
Well, shocking.
All right, coming up next. Well, it's not shocking as long as you get a C. Before we hand things
Good
over
point.
to Middays with Marks, John Kincade is another person to complain about. And that show follows Middays with Marks. I should text Bill to listen.
Oh, he knows.
Billy Sirianni. Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The Sixers have had an up.
Or John Kincade has a message for Bill Colarulo.
Bill Colarulo.
But before all that, in the world of AI and how it continues to grow, Connor, you can understand this the way I can understand this as two former Chick-fil-A employees.
Oh, yeah. My pleasure.
My pleasure was burned into our brains.
I never said it.
You
didn't you have to?
You had to.
They told me to. I said no.
So before I did my first shift, I've told this story before. You had to do like a 50. Did you have to do the 50 question test
you
or
gotta go
whatever?
through all the stuff.
Okay.
It's like, if food falls on the floor, what do you, that kind of
Take
stuff.
it to the freezer and eat it.
Every other question was, if somebody says thank you, how do you respond? Like, it was like brainwashing you, right?
Right.
Burger King is launching an AI chatbot that will live in the headsets of the employees that work the drive-thru. And it will track if they say please and thank you to the customers, and they will get reports at the end of each shift. That's scary to me, man. It's weird.
Wow.
I get you want to hire employees that are polite. Like I understand that, right? But that's crazy to me. That
Wow.
you're being monitored. That's nuts.
The ABS system is
Dude,
now coming to
that's-
Burger
You
King.
don't like that.
Oh, it freaks me out, man.
Wow.
You like that?
Well, I mean, it's like if they're asking you to do something on your job and you're willfully ignoring the job, why not?
Dude, that stuff freaks me out.
They're asking you to do your
You're
job,
being monitored.
and they're asking you to do something simple in your job. That's a simple request.
Hey, we're a couple steps away from if you don't say please and thank you, the headset explodes.
Yeah, shock collar.
Like, we're getting.
Now you're taking
we're
it to
getting, we're getting
well, now
to
you're
that
taking
point,
it to,
man.
How about just doing the job they're paying you to do? Is that a lot to ask?
I did a great job. I didn't say my pleasure.
Yeah,
Nobody
exactly.
got
You were
upset at
just
me
fine.
over
Is
it.
that a lot to ask?
was
I don't
okay.
know.
God.
That's
All right.
Everyone takes everything
What
too
do we got on the
seriously.
text line? Hills that you're willing to die on when it comes to sports. And then we got to play something from Unfiltered yesterday. John Kincade has a message for Bill Colarulo. We're going to have to wait 4 hours to hear his response.
Do you guys want to fight?
Always.
No, okay, here's a good one then. First time texter, the hill I'll die on. When healthy, Joel Embiid is the best player in the league.
I wouldn't say best player in the league. No.
One of the? Yes.
But
No,
one
they
of,
said
yes.
the best.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I
one
wouldn't-
of the?
I wouldn't say the
yes.
best, but
One of the?
yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
I mean,
I'm not fighting that one.
Okay.
One of the? Sure.
And what version of Embiid are we talking? Like 5 years ago, you still had LeBron in his prime. You had Steph.
Correct.
Steph, like
When LeBron,
we're talking about the greatest players of all time.
when Embiid, yeah, exactly. No.
But one of the he won,
absolutely.
he won an MVP,
And he
Yes.
was in the mix for at least a couple others.
Yeah, he runner up back-to-back
Right.
years to Nikola Jokic. All right, Bill Colarulo, Billy Sirianni. Go ahead, just play it.
We know the Eagles aren't in the business of not winning for an extended period of time. They try to compete for Super Bowls every single season. So the fact that they allowed Nick Sirianni to have this much control over the process, I don't think he's going anywhere. Now, I don't think that's a bad thing. You look at Nick Sirianni's career as a head coach. We've done this before. The worst season they had was his rookie year as a head coach. They went 9-8, and they still made the playoffs. Then you went 14-3, got to a Super Bowl. 11-6, 14-3, won the Super Bowl. 11-6, back-to-back division titles. I really don't understand what people are saying that Sirianni is on the hot seat and he might lose his job. It would have to be an absolute epic disaster of a season next year. I'm talking 4-13, players revolting, complete chaos on the sidelines, complete chaos behind the scenes. That's the only way Sirianni's losing his job. And I hate to break it to the people who hate on Nick Sirianni. This guy's not going anywhere. I think that they proved to us, the Philadelphia Eagles, that they believe in him a lot more than maybe a lot of you do.
Well, first of all, I'll make it simple for Bill at the end here. But I will tell you that if Bill actually believes that they let him hire Sean Mannion and control that process and have a big say in changing to the Sean McVay offense, if he thinks that was really Nick Sirianni going, yeah, I really want to run the Sean McVay offense now, then Bill believes in pixie dust and giant bouncing figures coming in his house with baskets full of eggs. That's all I'm going to say. That's what he believes in.
What?
I mean, he believes that he better not have a fire going on Christmas Eve or somebody's going to get it torched behind.
Easy now.
Because that's all I'm going to tell you. But overall, I'll make it simple for Bill Colarulo. He can name the wager, and then we will take it on. I will take on the wager. If the Eagles do not advance further than this year, meaning if they do not win a playoff game, if they lose a wild card game, that means even if they win the division, if they lose a wild card game, they do not advance further than this year. I say Nick Sirianni's gone. He obviously says that can't happen. It won't happen. I don't know what it is. Bill, the ball's in your court. You make the wager. You and I will talk about it. We'll come up with a wager and lay it on the line. Because I'm telling you right now, they're not letting him screw up this thing 3 times.
Sirianni love.
And you are a beautiful singer, Bill Colarulo. And I will be tuned in.
You're not stupid.
No, some days I am.
We have to send that audio to Bill. He can set the terms and
Well, he
does
can come up with it.
Does he? I guess he would agree on the.
Well, no, he said defiantly that it would have to be a disaster for him to. And I'm saying if they do not advance further than this year, so they have to win a playoff game. They have to get further than this year. This team doesn't advance further than this year. He's not here next year. They're not letting him screw this thing up 3 years in a row. Not with this roster. Not with this talent. So, Bill, ball's in your court. And I know you're a talented guy. You're going to come up with something very creative. We'll have some fun with it.
Damn right. Speaking of betting, do you know that Jonte Porter's going to be playing in a startup basketball league? The guy that got banned for
How can they
life.
allow that?
I don't know.
Well, there's no betting on it.
I just,
sure. As long as there's no wagering on it, I'm sure it's fine.
Dude, offshore.
Oh, please.
Dude, trust me. I can bet on anything.
You can find it on Kalshi.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure I can find it in Delco.
All right, everybody have a great rest of your day. We have Middays with Marks coming up next. Ray Dunn still filling in for Johnny Marks. Dutsy producing the show today.
Oh, the lettuce.
Everybody have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow here on The Fanatic.
Now on 97.